Let's hope nobody puts the willies up us tonight.
Oh.
Mute that quickly. Hello, everyone. I say everyone, it's mainly us at the moment. It's Halloween live news. Well, it's October live news. It just so happens it fell on Halloween. And it's an hour early for me and Random. Because our clocks went back and America's haven't. So we're even closer than normal.
Clock blocked.
Clock old.
Ooh. Is that an El Camino?
No, that's an 82 Brat converted over to a 132nd slot car.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Welcome to live news. You have got
It was the aforementioned El Camino for you.
You've
Camino
got
7.
3 of us. Yeah. I don't think Mark is going to join us. He may do. He may not. But let's pretend he won't and continue. What have we been up to? Well, it's been a busy old month, but it seems like so long ago, because it was literally a month ago, that Scott was over here.
Was it? No, it's 3 weeks because
it's just
the
over.
7th would be a week from now.
It's just over.
It was like about 12 weeks.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not get bogged down in who did what to whom. So, what have we been up to in this last month? Well, I will get on to Scott's visit in a sec. I think it was the day before he came over. I got a spam email from Amico, as most people did, and it had an address on it. So I thought, I was up late, just thought, let's have a look at where this address is. Let's go on Street View. And so I had a look, and it's Marguerite Parkway, Mission Viejo, California, and a zip code. So I went on Google Maps, found it, and I found the building on Street View, and lo and behold, next door is a Play and Trade. Now, for those of you in the know, SoCal had an office in Play and Trade, and I just thought, how ironic that one Vapor console had an office in a Play and Trade, and another Vapor console had an office next door to, or possibly in, I can't tell from the picture, a Play and Trade. I just thought, it's probably not the same one. It's probably pure coincidence, but just made me chuckle anyway. So yes, start of the month, Scott came over. I think, was it the 3rd or the 2nd or the 3rd he came over, something like that?
Oh, something like that.
So did the usual, picked him up at the airport. I think, did we go for breakfast? I think we did go for breakfast.
Yeah, as we usually do.
Came back here, hung out for a bit at the house, just in case he wanted a beauty sleep before we got up to shenanigans.
It's funny. I've found the formula over the years for going to Europe is, get there in the morning and then take a nap until like 1, then stay up till whenever, and then you're on the schedule. For just whatever reason, the flight was actually not terrible. I did a connection I haven't done before that I will do in the future from now on, and that's going through Dublin. It was actually a stop instead of direct, but there were no directs listed this time. And Dublin has completely revamped their whole airport. And there's 2 interesting observations. Like, when you get there, they have you in and out to your next flight in record time. And not only that, coming back, they have a U.S. Customs facility in the building. So I actually got off the plane in the U.S. and walked right out to my car instantly. So that is, and it was actually only, the thing I look at whenever I'm looking at a flight isn't so much number of stops or anything else. It's just the travel time. Is it a 9-hour travel time or is it 13 hours? That's 4 hours of difference, man. So I definitely will be doing the Dublin connection again. That was that made things a lot easier and a lot nicer. So I got off the plane feeling pretty fresh and just stayed up that time. But normally, the nap is the key.
Yeah, so we hung out for a bit and then decided to go out. We went shopping like geezers do, but we went specifically Scalextric Scalextric car shopping.
You see, even your native fuckers can't pronounce that. Just admit it was a misfire. They could just call it Scale Electric or just Slot Electric or something that people could pronounce.
Or as SoCal pronounced it once, Scalectroscale.
Can you imagine how many meetings they had where they're in there like, all right, guys, so this who the fuck thought of this? We're going with it, Tim. We're going with it.
It's too late. We've already done the brochure. So there's a couple of dealers not too far away from me. One it's more of a general sort of model store. They had trains, they had Scalextric, they had Airfix, that kind of stuff. But I knew of another one that was a bit further away, and the lady in the shop just checked for us that they were going to be open. So we drove over there, and it's in.
No, Mike, for the listeners.
Yeah.
When you say a bit further away, it's like 5 minutes more down the road.
No. It's about 45 minutes from me. That's
even close.
That's like an overnight stop. So
Look, the Sherpas had all your gear when we got there. It was nothing to worry about.
So for those in the know, it was in a place called Nelson, which is up in the hills, and it was an industrial unit. So we drove up to this place,
Mike.
and we parked up outside, and I said to Scott, "That's it there." He said, "Like, there's nothing there, dude. There is no business being conducted in this building." But there was. Lo and behold, we went and opened the door, and inside it's literally an industrial unit. Then one side of it, they sort of made a little, not quite a shop front, but they carpeted it and put some shelves up and that kind of thing. But they had probably the biggest selection of models in the building. They weren't all out on show that we could see, but upstairs in the warehouse or whatever, they just had probably way more than we have ever seen. And there are a couple of models that Scott was looking for and couldn't get in the US.
Oh, I got those. Yeah, I got those right here. In fact, let's give them credit. It was the Pelham slot car.
Pendle.
That was their Pendle. That's
Pendle
right.
Slot
I got
Racing.
it wrong.
PSR.
Pendle
Pendle
Slot
Slot
yeah.
Racing. Yeah.
Yeah, super nice guys too, by the way. They
and it
really
wasn't
just
actually a shop. We turned up and I just said, have you
yeah.
got a showroom we can look around? He says, well, not really, but I'll let you in. And indeed he did, and entertained us for about an hour.
Yeah, so it was actually a really really nice setup that he had. There it is. I was looking for the other car. So yeah, it was a really nice setup that he had. He said he was planning on opening up a showroom, but they just kind of never did. So they had done some of the work, like they had the display cases and they had they had the card machine and all that. And he said, yeah, we were leaning that way slowly towards COVID. Then after we were kind of like, well, do we really need to? And so they've been doing everything online, but super nice guys. And Mike will tell you he was looking. He had a lot of questions, and the guy was just extremely generous with his time. So, the two that were not really available in the U.S. that much is so the thing about Scalextric is there's all these different competing slot car systems. The two biggies are Carrera, which is German, and Scalextric, which is UK. Now, it's not exactly like neither of them are. Carrera is not really German, and Scalextric is not really UK anymore. It's our Chinese are better than your Chinese, and that's all it comes down to. They're all Chinese made, so not a lot of needs and picking favorites based on nationalism or anything. But the two systems, Carrera and Scalextric, you can get a chip. Well, it's a chip. It's a small PCB. It's got a couple of ICs on it. And like if you take a Scalextric, if you take any analog car and put it on a Carrera digital track, it won't work. If you take a Scalextric digital car and put it on a Carrera digital track, it will not work. But they make the way that Scalextric did their cars actually makes a lot of sense. Is they're called DSR, so they have this little hole in the bottom, right? And in stock form, there's a dummy plug that goes in there. You can see the pins, I think. Yes, there we go. So this plug goes in here and completes all the connections, so the power goes from the brushes to the car, and you can run this on any analog track. But there's a company that makes a digital board, and they're kind of expensive for what they are. I mean, you're going to spend $40. So if you have, say, 100 cars, you're spending $4,000 to make them all ready to go. But fortunately, it's just one little set screw, and it's just that black panel right there is what you're looking at. So that contains the circuit board. It plugs into this little white plug on the bottom of the Scalextric. And then now it's digital. You put it on a digital track, it wakes up, it pairs, it has the majority of all the digital functions. So anyway, it is very easy. I think the best way I can assess it is the Carrera track system is better than Scalextric. Scalextric cars are generally better than Carrera. Certainly has more variety that I like. So I tend to use the Scalextric cars on the Carrera system more. But anyway, the two I couldn't find are ironically somewhat American properties. And that is, of course, the Blues Brothers police car that they set up with the speaker to announce their concert. It's just beautiful. I mean, look at the detail on Jake and Elwood. I mean, they do good work. So the other car was, of course, I have the Old West and I have the regular DeLorean, but this one has the wheels folded up in the flying configuration, right? So how does it work if the wheels are up in the air, right? Well, and I mean, look at the detail on that too. Just absolutely beautiful. Even the Marty. I mean, it's just so well done. It's hard to see with the reflection, but he is good. So anyway, what they did is they put a narrower wheelbase on the inside. So there's the wheels right there. And there's your follower up there. So, yeah. Anyway, couldn't really find those in the U.S. Of course, about a week after I got back, somebody listed the cop cars on eBay. But whatever. But no, beautiful facility. If you're needing, he does ship some to the U.S. Certainly, if you're native in the UK and you want to pick up any cars, we recommend them. It's just great guys to talk to. So, but yeah, Mike was looking to get a setup for his kids. So, dude gave him the down the what do you call it, the download, the info, and
yeah.
So Mike's ready as soon as they're big enough to hold a controller. And RC Monster trucks, right?
This is grandkids, of course, not kids. But yeah, and they are primarily a mail order business. But you know, we were nice and friendly, completely non-threatening, and he let us in the shop to have a look round. So then I think it was back to my place for the evening. And if I was sitting through a Nicolas Cage film, Scott was sitting through a Nicolas Cage film. So
that's how I feel about it normally.
So we
I am a Nicolas Cage fan, for the record.
Yeah. So we watched Renfield, which we discussed a couple of months ago, maybe on the show. It's not a bad film. You know, it's very cheesy and what have you. Not the best film ever. Not the worst film ever. Certainly not the worst Nicolas Cage film ever. So, yeah, we watched that, hung out, then got up Friday morning again, went for breakfast, and then went trailer shopping. We went on the way to play Blackpool. We were headed over to Blackpool, but in between here and there is a trailer dealer. They do sort of industrial trailers, you know, agricultural stuff, that kind of thing. And I was looking at the options for a trailer for when I'm a yokel. So we called in there, had some good stuff, had a chat with the guy. I think his family own it. I don't know if he owns it directly, but certainly his family does and still lives on site. So worthwhile experience, very interesting visit. And then we hit the delights of Blackpool, set the booth up. Ben joined us, not this Ben, the other Ben. Because this Ben is Dave. So it was the Ben that's Ben that joined us. And
the Ben that can be bothered.
Yeah, we hung out and we'd booked an Airbnb, or Ben had. So I think we went and dumped our stuff over there. And then Stu came over. Stu, you will know from previous discussions on the show, he made the Dam Busters machine that was at Revival, so he joined us in the Airbnb. And we all headed over to Arcade Club and met up with another group of folks down there. Gareth and Rob joined us. Jeff came over with his future son-in-law. What was his name? Was it Phil? I can't
Sounds
remember.
reasonable.
Let's call him Phil. Apologies, but I forgot his name.
It was Scottish McCracken, Phil McCracken. Was that it?
But they joined us over there. Had a good crack in Arcade Club, but you might think that the day before one of the nation's largest game expos at one of the premium arcade venues in the country, that they might get a bit of extra food, a bit of extra beer in. But no, they didn't do that. So
We've got a giant convention literally a mile down the road. We could have a lot of those folks potentially in town. Could be one of our biggest nights of the year. Do we want to check the stock levels?
Yeah.
Madness.
So I forget what the situation was with Scott's Burger. Like, he wanted a double burger, but because he asked for a double burger, you couldn't.
They had listed. They had burgers,
Yeah.
double burgers, and then like some deluxe burgers or whatever. I said, "Yeah, I'll just give me a double." And he goes, "Oh, okay. Oh, you can't have a double." I'm like, "Okay, fine. I'll take a single." All right, order concluded.
Yeah. And then was it Stewie ordered after you, or just before? Or no, after you, wasn't it? And I think he asked for a
I
burger
don't know.
with an extra patty. Yeah, that's fine. You can do that.
We can do that.
The fuck?
We can do that. So look, I wasn't mad or anything. I was just like, I mean, who the fuck gets mad over a cheeseburger? But I was really curious. So I'm trying not. I don't want to be that guy. Like, hey, motherfucker. But I gotta ask the question how we, arrived at this moment. And I'm like, all right, so help me out here. You can't sell a double, but you can sell a burger with an extra patty. But you list it as a double. How did this play out? And the guy goes, okay, well, so we ran low on supply, so we decided to only sell single burgers, but I hadn't told him that. I was like, all right, fair enough. It's just one of those things you had to ask the question.
Yeah, exactly. So then that was Friday night. Then obviously Saturday, head over to the expo. And it's the usual stuff you would see at Blackpool. Big arcade, big indie section, lots of consoles, the bar, lots of talks, lots of stuff going on stage through the day. We were in the vendor's room. We had a booth in the vendor's room. That it wasn't as rammed or as, insanely hot as normal, but it was, fairly full on the Saturday. It's probably not as busy as I've seen it, but there was a lot of people there. Of course, we caught up with Simon Butler and Chris Wilkins. Went and sat out, outside in the foyer kind of thing. Had a beer, well, in the other bar. Had a couple of drinks with them. Always good to catch up with them.
One of the victories of the Welsh real estate system.
Yeah. Simon is not a fan of the Welsh.
Why don't they have? Well, no, he is in an odd way. So, first of all, there's the Welsh real estate system, and then the language. How they can have words like a conversation in Wales would go like rinky pinky, fartalinky, spitter fatter, frimframus, sunny day. That's Chris's take on it. Who doesn't speak Welsh, but he's from Wales, and. He was like, yeah, they never developed a word for sunny days or microwaves. But, yeah, I mean, I guess the language predates the microwave, and there's no real need to invent an alternate word. But,
No.
I thought the microwave was Popty Ping.
Well, I always
Obviously,
thought,
no West
the oven was Popty, and then microwave was Popty Ping. But some people say that's true, and some say it isn't, so I don't know.
I think they made it up just to screw with you.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But so Butler, he's developed a theory that all the Welsh are doing a Liverpool affectation to sound like they're from Liverpool, and that the entire country, region, what have you, is really secretly wishing that they were from Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's his theory, and he's sticking to it.
Yeah. How many countries are in this country? So, interesting thing at the show. So we grabbed a couple of interviews. One was with David, I forget his surname, who is the man behind the Vectrex Mini. So they were there on display. He had a booth there showing them off. You could see them up and running next to an original Vectrex. And so we sat down, did an interview with him. You've probably just listened to it. So that was good to see that unit.
It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got in there Friday,
Yeah.
and we were setting up our booth, and we go over, and he's already pretty well set up. He had everything out, connected, running, and playing. And I got to tell you guys, it looks cool. When you walk up to this mini Vectrex, as most people say, okay, the screen is going to be the key, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like a Vector Glow? Does it look like or does it look like a Kindle Paper, where it just makes no sense, So, yeah, if it was just like a dull LCD, like a Kindle Paper kind of thing, that really wouldn't have done much. But I got to tell you guys, it grabs your attention. And especially the Vectrexes they had weren't just ordinary Vectrexes. They had the UV LED ring on it with the blacklight, what do you call overlays?
Overlay.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, they were tuned-up Vectrexes. Just looked amazing. And then this little thing was holding its own with the stock screen, the AMOLED. So, guys, it looks good. It really does. And we've got about 2 days until the Kickstarter hits on it. And be ready. Jump in on it. It's going to be killer. So he was extremely forthcoming. And there was none of this funny business like, well, we're not really ready to reveal the source of our vendors and our technologies. He's like, yeah, we did this, but that won't be production ready. Of course, you wouldn't do that ever in production. So we're looking at having this done. Hell no, we're not designing a controller. We're showing the Chinese, this is what we need, and then they make it. And the guy was no bullshit. So you're going to want this thing. Sorry, I still got that last 1% of ye old phlegm I picked up.
Yeah.
Guys, a month later, it's just still hanging out. But, yeah, so anyway, guys, it's going to be a sweet-ass mini. The price is very fair. The tech in it. So we had some neat discussions about what it can do, like the fact that it can do video out over USB so that you can go just USB-C to HDMI, or I was looking at some of the little mini projectors that are USB-C based. So just throwing on a USB-C projector and having to project tracks, which I trademarked that name. That's too cool not to have, the project tracks. But, God, I'm telling you guys, this thing's going to be sweet, man. That was my takeaway, Mike. Do you see anything I didn't see? Or?
No, I think it's really good. You know what hardware is in there. I think he's been public about that. We talked about it. It's an ESP32, which can do lots and lots of very interesting and some unusual things. Right so here. You could, literally do things like run a BBS on it or whatever, or access a BBS with it. So, yeah, really cool looking device. We met him over the weekend a couple of times, had a chat. He seems a genuine enough guy. It looks like his heart and his head are in the right place. You've got to be careful with these things, hardware Kickstarters. Once bitten, twice shy. But I think, the guy is a straight-up dude, as you might say. So we will find out.
We gave him a copy of Smoke and Mirrors. And,
this is what not to do.
Yeah. He said, "Can you guys please sign this?" Right? Mike signed it. You get Mike, and I signed it. Don't do what SoCal did. So he literally has the manual of how not to fuck this up.
Yeah. The other interview we grabbed was Matt Householder, who's done lots and lots of things over the years. You will hear that interview next month. Probably most well known for the arcade conversion of Krull, but into lots and lots of different hobbies. You know, he owns a computer space that he's having some problems with. He's a vintage radio restorer still to this day. He was on something of a tour of the UK, going around various venues. So, interesting guy to chat to. Been there and seen most of it. And yes, he was at 3DO for a while. And then, what else did we do? So, I think that's probably about it for the expo. Back home to mine. And then on the Monday, Paula was off work, so we hung out, the three of us, and we went over to a place near the airport called Style Mill, which is an old cotton mill. So they've got steam engines running over there. They've got the looms up and running, you know, the big water wheel still there and all of that. So just looking at old shit, basically.
Well, so as we're going through there too, and they really do. Their tour guides are really well informed. It's a nice. I mean, you know, if you're local and haven't been, it's, you know, if you like old machinery, it's always worth nice seeing. And you can see how they built the whole river diversion system and the water wheels, and you know, it's still there functioning. I mean, that thing's just been, you know, it's obviously received some kind of maintenance and work. They had, you know, you could see down in the pit, you could see the 5-gallon buckets of modern lube, you know, so Diddy's been there. And it's but, you know, you can imagine what's in place. They've got this, you know, cast iron, you know, water wheel hub, and probably, you know, some sort of, you know, maybe bronze, maybe damn, I'm trying to think of it's Babbitt metal. Thank you, Babbitt metal. So it may have been Babbitt metal or something, but, you know, you figure they poured these original bearings, and nowadays, you know, they can just chuck one in a day, machine a replacement, and that's going to be the wearable item. So the wood can all be replaced as need be. So obviously it's had work to keep it going, but as a simple concept, the water goes through, it spins, and everything works. The sluice gates work. Then they have beautiful models of everything. So we're watching this, and they're talking about the history of it's funny how much they'll focus, especially the women will focus on, you know, oh, they had no health and safety then. I was like, yeah, it was kids. I mean, come on. You know, you throw a 10-year-old under a machine to fish out the rest of the gears. There's not going to be any earmuffs for the little urchin to wear. So, but as they're going through the whole history of the place, she's like, oh, and these machines were his original. And I looked down, it says made in USA. But, yeah, nice. And the whole walk through there is super pleasant, isn't it? Just like,
yeah,
nice rolling hills and, you know, good weather.
Yeah, so the guy who built it was he was from Ireland originally, came over here as a kid to find work. You know, the family were piss poor, and, you know, eventually he was living in Manchester, but he looked and he chose this particular valley because of the landscape, and he could divert the natural river through it, and ended up building a house there. They built a little village not too far away, so all the workers could live nearby. Yes, that's, you know, he wants his workers there at his beck and call, but, you know, these people wouldn't ordinarily live in a village, perhaps, and a lot of them, you know,
they would have owned a back or call, so be grateful.
yeah. And then Wednesday. I forget. What did we do Tuesday? Did we do something? Oh, we fucked around. We fixed a patio heater.
Oh, yeah,
we went to the trap.
We fixed one of your Alan gifts.
Yeah. So Paula's dad, Alan, he'll often say to you, "Oh, I don't use this anymore. Do you want it? Will you make use of it?" Which you can translate as, "This is fucked. Will you take it to the tip for me?" But it was sort of fucked, but not quite. It was just, you know, patio heater works on, you know, gas bottle. The jets needed clearing out, and you know, one of the I think it was the gas pipe that feeds it was blocked up, so, you know, maybe spiders, webs or whatever had got in there, so just needed a clean out, and it does actually work. So I didn't quite get Allen'd, but yeah, me and Scott dismantled that and rebuilt it, and then we went over to the Traff.
And when we went down to the marina.
Oh, so, yes, yeah.
So we had to go find a gas regulator for this patio heater. And what's neat is Mike has in his backyard, essentially, within walking distance a canal boat marina.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got, they have, of course, gas regulators in stock and all that. And super nice guys down there running that operation. But, man, if I had a freaking canal boat marina in my backyard, there's no way I wouldn't own a canal boat, man. I was telling Mike, dude, if you had a canal boat, we could have hopped in that and been down to the Trafford and back in the same amount of time as taking the roads. And then you would have had a boat. So, still trying to talk you into getting a boat.
I'm on a motherfucking boat.
I've always thought the canal boats are really the coolest of all boats that aren't sailboats, really. Because you just, the things are like 50, 70 foot long and like 5 foot wide. So it's like driving a shipping container from the rear down a narrow river. And
nice.
There's locks and dams. I mean, really, it's pretty busy boating, But once you open that bad boy up to 4 miles an hour, you're really. But no, you can just smell the diesel, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So, and there's lots of restored canal passageways now, and a lot of these boats out and about. I would absolutely have one of those boats, no question. If I had that available, so you really should.
And then we headed over to the Namco arcade in the Traff. They took out some of the good machines that were there last time, but I mean it was 2 years ago. The VR motorbike racing one was still there, but one of the bikes had a bit of an issue. But had a go on that. What else did we try? The axe throwing, that was pretty fun. What else did we do? We did a Mario Kart that was all right. Did we try anything else?
Yeah, there's that Pac-Man skee ball. That's kind of nice. You had to go at the LED Space Invader. So they have one of these in Vegas, and they're hard to find, but they're really, really neat. So basically, it's a what would you say, about a 5 by 8 foot panel?
I would think
it's a pretty big
yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
And it's LEDs. So it's Space Invaders played out on high brightness LEDs. So it looks like a regular screen just blown up into pixels of the right size. And it just works. That's the only way I can describe it. It just works. It's a coin redemption game. It is a credible game of Space Invaders. Don't get me wrong. It's Space Invaders. But it's not intended to be like a full-featured Space Invaders game. It's designed to be kind of a Twitch play and then some tickets spit out. But one of the coolest, ticket games I've ever seen. I could see adding one of those to the collection eventually when they really, if they hit the auction circuit. I could definitely see adding one of those in. They're just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's good fun. So you sit down. Could you do 2 players on it? I think. But you sit down on a bench seat and you've got like a gun in front of you. You've seen like the pivoted guns. You see them on like the water squirting games and that kind of thing. So the gun kind of pivots in front of you on a universal joint. So you've got one of those and you're shooting, and there's a fair bit of movement in it because, like Scott says, this is huge screen in front of you and you sat quite close to it. So yeah, it's good. Definitely worth a go. Good fun. And then he flew home on the Wednesday, and we both cried. It's very emotional.
Yes.
But he did take some germs away with him, so we thank him for that.
Yeah, I got the full course. No, I had to go by the store on the way out and buy like $40 worth of various potions and pills and lozenges and shit. And I am still on the very last 1% of that nastiness. But Mike, I just sent you the picture of the Space Invaders, of course. That.
So you did. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, cool game.
I will add that to the. There's an album on our website with pictures from the show, and I think I put the axe throwing one on there of, like, Scott throwing the axes. So I will add that Space Invaders one to that album at some point. Well, I'll have done it by the time you hear this. So that was that. Movies wise, I watched quite a bit of old stuff. Got into quite a vintage tip. So I watched. I'm a big fan of Buster Keaton, so I watched a few of his movies that I've not seen before. Sherlock Junior. If you get a chance to watch that, if you know anything about Buster Keaton and some of the stunts that he did all his own, obviously. Well, not obviously, he just did all his own. Some of the more famous ones are in Sherlock Junior. Definitely worth watching. So only relatively short.
The house collapsing's the absolute brilliant ones.
Yeah.
Where they would build a wall of a house and then calculate where the window would land. And this was not an exceptionally large window. Okay, no. We're talking an inch of clearance on either side.
Yeah.
And he would stand there and they'd shove the house over and the whole wall would fall down around him as the window passed around him. Now, if he was wrong and he missed, he just gets crushed. It was extraordinary.
Yeah.
But Keaton is the absolute best physical comedian of all time, I think. Just absolutely
fantastic.
Brilliant.
One of the other good ones in that movie is the one where he's on top of the building and he's got like this, a gate, a barrier that lifts up, and he jumps onto that. The barrier comes down and he lands in the car that's driving past. That's in that movie. And the one, he actually broke his neck doing it. It's like a water tower that they fill steam trains up with. And he's holding on to the bottom of the hose pipe. They turn the water on. And he gets, thrown into the ground and in this jet of water. He actually broke his neck doing it, but didn't realise. And he was complaining of headaches for a couple of weeks. Went to the doctor, and the doctor says, like, when did you break your neck? He's like, I don't know. Didn't know I had. But yeah, crazy dude, great film.
What's interesting is to watch interviews with him in, like, say, the 1950s on TV when he was elderly. I mean, he was an old dude by then.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a movie star in the 20s, in the teens.
I think he still did films. He did some in the 70s, I think, as well. Early 70s, maybe.
Think he lived that long? I mean, it's amazing he did. But he would do these interviews, and they would ask him, so how'd you get your name? He goes, well, Buster used to mean like a tough guy, or, like you could take a hit. So, I fell off this water tower and landed on my head, and they were like, oh, you're a real Buster. And then do it on camera. But just a really nice guy, too. Just an interesting guy, But, the shit they did to make movies was absolutely genius.
Yeah.
That's why I've always liked older movies. Not because they're old, but because, I mean, like, you look at Buster Keaton. The special effects are as good as they need to be to tell the story, So what's missing? There's nothing missing. Okay, there's, no speech. You don't need it. It tells the story. So, I think he's one of the best comedians ever, voice or no voice,
Yeah. It was the 60s, not the 70s. He died in 66, but he was working until, very close to his death. Another old one I watched from
occurred.
From 1927, Metropolis. I'd seen clips of it, never sat through the whole thing. Interesting movie, worth a watch. Again, a silent movie, apart from the music, obviously. But so
that is one of my top 3 movies of all time. I'm sure I've talked about it on the show, not to, do a huge rant on it, but Metropolis in 1927 was very much like what Avatar achieved in 2009 with its modern technology. It was absolutely massive in scale. I mean, the original movie was actually lost in that there was no one original reference copy existing. So since to my knowledge, it began in the 80s. It could have been a project before that, but there was nobody around that remembered seeing the movie and really knew knew the whole plot and the whole layout, right? So they had all this footage from various different reels. So, like, there was a reel found in Brazil, and it had some footage that the one in America didn't have, and there was a lot of footage in archives in Germany that the Brazil one didn't have. So they more or less kind of started piecing this back together. So somewhere in the mid-'80s, I think it was like 86, 87, they did a version of it that Queen did a music score for it. So Queen's doing the music, and as I recall, it was 87 minutes. And that was considered the ultimate reassembled reference copy. Well, since then, more footage has, so it seems like every 5 to 10 years, you get a new version of Metropolis that has more footage that they found. And some of it, they don't know where it all goes, really, because everybody's dead. So, but yeah, Metropolis is absolutely one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. If you ever sit down and watch it and just get past the idea that it's a silent film, you will be just blown away at how complete and perfect the story is compared to modern films.
Yeah, and bear in mind the film was from 1927, and in a lot of ways the story doesn't parallel the book 1984, but there's a lot of elements of, what appeared in 1984 sort of predicted in Metropolis. The rich people living over here, the poor people living down here, and they can only do this, and they stay where they're supposed to and do what they're told, and all of that. The book 1984 was from 1949, and this is, a movie made in 1927 that's sort of, going along the same sort of, predictive story path. It's really, really interesting film.
Well, also, not only that, it's if you know anything about European politics, especially Germany and even Europe as a whole, in the interwar period, between World War I and World War II, this makes perfect sense. Everything being done in that movie makes perfect sense for the politics of the day. So, fantastic movie. I can't say enough good stuff about it.
So yeah, a lot more modern now. I'd never watched the latest Tomb Raider, the 2018 one. So I watched that. I prefer the Angelina Jolie ones. I mean, none of them are truly fantastic films, but I prefer the earlier ones. It was okay, just didn't really blow me away. Another one I watched, I think yesterday, the new Spinal Tap. I'd had it for a while. I thought, yeah, I'll do it. It's not going to be as good as the original, but I've got to do it, And it isn't as good as the original. There are some okay jokes in it, but really it's not a great movie. I think they should have just left it alone. The first one's a classic. Love the first one. And this just doesn't really do that first one justice. So,
I don't think I'm going to watch it. I just... I'm not mad that they made it. It's just I can kind of see exactly what it's going to be, and it's going to kind of exactly be a disappointment.
You're right.
Yeah.
Whatever you're thinking, you're right. TV-wise, we watched a few episodes while Scott was here, but I finished the whole run of it now. A TV show called Plebs, which is kind of it's kind of modern situations in ancient Rome, set to a reggae and ska soundtrack. It
is literally
Big Bang.
Big Bang Theory in Rome. It's Friends, Big Bang Theory, any of those shows in Rome. That's the premise. Now it's good, it's funny, and it's got some genius actors in it. It's good, but yeah, it is. It's just every other Friends. Like they always said that. What was it they called? Big Bang Theory was Friends with Nerds. This is just Friends with Romans. Same thing.
Yeah. I do like Big Bang. I don't like Friends, but I do love Plebs. Definitely worth a watch. And it's an easy watch, 20-odd minutes an episode. Burn through 3 an hour. Just great show. Another
gets covered in shit, and then you're out.
Salve, Grumio. All right, landlord.
He spends so much time covered in his own and other people's shit.
Another one I've been watching, I think I'm on season 2 now, Inside Number 9, which is the same people who did League of Gentlemen, but it's not League of Gentlemen. It's nowhere near that kind of out there. I would describe it as, and I was thinking about this today, I would describe it as a mix between League of Gentlemen and The Twilight Zone. Like each story is different.
And M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. Each story is its own. Each episode is its own story. You can dip in and out of them. They've usually got a twist at the end. A bit Twilight Zone-ish, some of them. And some of them are quite a freaky premise. And you can see, this is the people who did League of Gentlemen, but it's just not as deranged as that show. Definitely more mainstream, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm guessing you've watched it, Random.
Yeah, I watched all of it. Some of the later stuff's just fantastic. Some absolute classics in there.
And I think they're doing a
Great
live
show.
tour either this year, which they may be into now, or next year. I know some friends of mine have got tickets to go and watch the live show, so that might be worth a watch. So to bring it round to technology and games before I let someone else speak, Scott's talked on the show before about the card computer. I picked one up from the Pi Hut store, £36 delivered or thereabouts, £36 and a few pence. ESP32 based. You can put a micro SD in there and put some files, on there that you may need. You don't have to, but just a really interesting device. Full QWERTY keyboard. It's a tiny little thing, sort of credit card sized, but much deeper. It's like stack 10 credit cards on top of each other. It's that kind of size. Just a really interesting device. You can, and you'd load different firmwares to it. You flash them over, and you can run Doom on it. You can run lots of hacking tools on it. There's one called TV Be Mine, so you can take over TVs. If you're in the pub or something and the TV's too loud, just boop, turn it off, turn it down, whatever.
So, by the way, Mike, you do want to get the external IR module. It has a built-in LED. It's okay.
Yeah.
But the external one will hit everything in the room.
Right. So I've messed around with a few of the firmwares on it. The one I thought was really good, quite surprised me actually. I can't remember what it's called, but it's an audio stream server. So you boot it up, you run the software, and you leave it in a room. It's got a built-in microphone, and then you can go into another room, open up a web browser, hit the IP address that it tells you, and you can listen to the live streamed audio from that room. But it's so clear. It's just the quality of the hardware in there, fantastic. So I didn't do anything surreptitious. I was just merely testing it, put the TV on, put it in front of the TV or whatever, and went next door, fired up the browser, and it was just so clear, really good. Really interesting device. I posted it in British IBM's Discord, and AD said, I might have to get one of those and figure out why I need it later. It's that kind of device. It's just
that kind of, yeah. It's is it up here? It's It is exactly that kind of device that you buy it and figure out what you're going to do with it later. But
it fits Lego. You can see the holes underneath there. It's compatible with Lego. It will work with that. You can use it to drive Lego motors, all that kind of stuff.
And everything's documented, so you know what every output's for and all. It'll do any of your Wi-Fi shenanigans and testing. It'll do all that. I think one of the neater functions that's in the Evil firmware is it has a security camera monitor. So you just have it search the network for security camera feeds, and then you can just join the feed and you can watch the cameras. So if somebody has Wi-Fi cameras up and isn't, careful about their security, you can just log in and watch all their cameras, interior, exterior, doesn't matter. It's a camera feed. So
yeah. And finally, for me, to bring it around to games, what have I been playing? I bought a new phone, so I put Scum on that. I've been adding some Scum games to it. And I copied all my files over for, using levels of Luna. But with a normal Prime account, you do get, some fairly recent games. Like I can go on there and play Hogwarts Legacy for free, which is a game I sort of considered buying, didn't do in the end. And I could play that on my TV with, an Xbox controller, a Stadia controller, whatever. But they've got multiplayer games on there, like stupid simple games like Clue. You can play that, but you can use your phone as a controller. And I just thought, who needs an Amico now? Like, if you got Amazon Prime, you just set up your phone as a shitty controller and play Amazon Luna games. So it's an interesting service. It's not one I'm really going to make use of. I just thought it was interesting that something I consider a new game, anyway, Hogwarts Legacy, I can play for free because I've got Amazon Prime. So I thought that was pretty neat, but yeah. Not sure I'd sign up for it and pay for the premium stuff to stream, but anyway, just thought that was interesting. Just, yeah, following links in the email that they spammed me with. And that, my dear listeners, is me for the month.
Well, it was many of us for the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't do a whole lot differently than UK Mike. It's how we were running around together. Great time as always, really was, truly.
Mm-hmm.
Always good to see Butler again and catch the shenanigans that he's into. And, it happened. It was last time over. I was talking to, Simon about something, right? And the guy comes over. I have no idea who he was. And he goes, "Oh, you know who you just stood there talking to, right?" I was like, "Yeah, my friend Simon." Oh, off he goes in the direction. And I was trying to find Butler the whole time. I was like, "Who is that son of a bitch?" But whoever it was, he didn't like Butler, but that's to be expected. So, but no, always a good time. I did. I don't have it down here. It's actually upstairs. I definitely want to thank Little Ben. There's any number of these. You've seen them, Game Boy sized, multi emulators, and it's probably a dozen of these things on the market, all various specs, various manufacturers, and you don't quite know what you're getting, and some of them have different software loads, until you really see one to kind of feel one out. And usually it's like, yeah, that it looks good in the photo, but it doesn't really hold up. I've not been impressed, really. So what I've been doing for mobile gaming is, I've got it here somewhere, is I've got a Pi in a case, and it runs RetroPie. And it, of course, it works great. I've got one here fixed. I've got one that's inside of not Vectrex, a Neo Geo cabinet. And then I've got another one that is just for travel. So, like, when I'm on the road, which I am frequently, we'll stay in a hotel. I just, plug it into the HDMI, and then I'm playing whatever the hell I want off of that RetroPie. Well, the Little Ben there had one of the Anbernic 353Vs. That's the model number. And it's like any of the other handhelds. It's got a big, bright screen on it. The plastic is actually pretty thick and sturdy, so it doesn't have that cheap plasticky twist in half. It feels like a Nintendo product. It's very sturdy. And, 4 buttons on the back, 2 analogs, a D-pad, 4 buttons on the front, plus select start and action button. So it's decently laid out buttons. And it's more or less, it runs the Raspberry Pi software. It's got a rock chip. So more or less, it's a Pi with a monitor and controls inside a small case that's about the size of like a Game Boy Advance. Now, it also has the ability to link Bluetooth to other controllers. It has HDMI out, and this is cool. So I already set it up. I found my translator that I thought I had, and I did. So more or less what I'm doing is, and somebody already designed a dock for it, so I didn't even have to design a dock. But I'm going to remove the Pi that's in my Neo Geo and just set this up as a dock, so I can just open the coin door and dock this thing, and then it powers my Neo Geo cab. Just convert the controls over to Bluetooth, and then set the monitor up using a 15 kilohertz adapter. So I'll go HDMI over to VGA to 15 kilohertz, and that's easy enough to do. So yeah, it works. Everything that you've come to expect from the RetroPie, the Anbernic delivers the exact same thing, only it's got a built-in screen. So that is definitely going to be my new mobile device. Appreciate Ben for turning me on to that, because I tried 2 or 3 of the other ones out there, and they're all about the same price. They're all sub $100. They all have about the same layout. You just don't know what's shit and what's good. But this is definitely I can give it the seal of approval. This is definitely the one to go with. So
another good thing you can try with it as well, Scott, depending on the firmware, it will have net play in there. And as long as, if you've got somebody else, say, in your club who's got one similar or whatever, as long as you've got the same ROM set, you can play multiplayer games. You just need a local Wi-Fi, but you can, like, hotspot your phone or whatever, both join it, and you can play multiplayer games. It's really pretty easy once you get your head around it.
It pairs up to the 8-bit Do controllers.
Yeah.
So first thing is I paired one of those, and I was like, okay, this is great.
Yeah.
And so it is. You could dock this thing at home, pair your Bluetooth controller to it, and sit on the couch and play games. Mm-hmm. The HDMI auto detect is a little bit fussy. You can't just plug in HDMI. You have to plug in HDMI and then boot it up, and then it detects as external HDMI, which, okay, fine, whatever. But it works, so not too bad. I would rather just be able to just plug it in and not have to worry about booting it once it's in the cab. But how often? I mean, the hardships, right? The hardships.
First world problems.
Yeah, third world problems. But it is badass. No, other than that, man, I got back. I've been just hammering away on some vehicle projects, trying to get some things finished before the season. Because this is a truck I can't fit into my garage whatsoever. So work while the weather's nice before it goes to shit. So I did that. And just the other day, it is almost 1st of November. The tree and all that stuff goes up November 15th. So I have already started heavily on the Christmas cycle. Mm-hmm. So a couple things I wanted to do this year is kind of improve on basic things I had done that I thought were pretty good ideas, but definitely could be done a little more sophisticated. So I got this little player. It's right here. Thank you. It's called the Mika Spec. Now these things they've been made now for like 10, 15 years, and that big, and that's an SD card sticking out of it, right? So it's basically like USB. It's got an infrared remote sensor. It's got an SD card, and you can put your videos on either the USB or the SD. Then it's got HDMI and power on the back and 1/8-inch audio.
We had one of those when I lived in the apartment with Neil. We'd download something and shove it on the card and plug it into the TV.
Yeah, I don't know what player they did, but it works just like VLC. It plays anything.
Yeah.
So it's a lightweight little deal. It's tiny. It just works. So what I've used them for over the years is digital signage. So you can put together whatever you want to do, chuck that on the back of a TV. Like we did a rally, and I had hundreds of pictures from years and years and videos of stuff. I just chucked them all on, hit shuffle, hit play, and it would just run through this on a TV built into a box. So nothing but love for those things. And it's hard. That's a G2. They have a G3 out, and it does slightly different things. It lets you address bigger memory, I think is what it does. But so anyway, I had a ton of MP3s set up on this thing, and I hooked it up to an aux input on my sound system, mainly so because we have cats, we got to keep the tree in the basement. So it's one of the arcade areas. It's a nice finished area. So I set up that Mika Spec with a whole bunch of MP3s, so I could just hit play and it would just shuffle Christmas music and do all that, right? And I thought, well, I want to do that a lot better. So I want to tie into my video system, so I went ahead and started downloading. I got the YouTube downloader and just started downloading all the great, Christmas music with either video format. And I figured for the things that didn't have a video, like, all right, for example, the Jethro Tull Christmas album, 2 of those songs they did videos for. One of them is like a live, Top of the Pops kind of thing. And the other one was just like a regular video. But then the other 10 songs on the album, there's no video already made. So fortunately, what a lot of people have done is posted all this on YouTube with a static image. So far, I've literally had to make, using FFmpeg, I had to make like 3 videos with a static image or some animation because everybody has done it for me. So I just sat there and I ripped down all the videos I thought I could need. So I've got a directory. It's got everything: Mannheim Steamroller, Broken Peach, Siberian Orchestra, Sinatra's Christmas specials, Dean Martin Christmas specials, every kind of Christmas music and concert you can think of. And then I'm just same player. I just now have HDMI over to the distro, so I can just hit play. I got Christmas videos and audio, obviously, shuffling on the whole house. So that's done. So I got my video jukebox done for Christmas. My train layout, I've always what is a Christmas tree without a train under it, right? So you got to do that. So I had done a couple different setups. 2 years ago, I went out and I got a unopened 2004 Polar Express, which is the pre-digital old school Lionel. It's built really well, except for the goddamn track. They have this plastic track they call Fast Track. You plug the ends together and then it fails, and it just literally the train speeds up, slows down. You're just nothing but mad at this track the whole time. You can't set it up to like a nice minimum creeping speed around because it'll stop in one area where, it's just the worst track ever. So there's a company called Menards. I'd never heard of them, but I thought they're Canadian for some reason. Apparently they're kind of like the size of Home Depot or Lowe's. They're just not anywhere I live or generally travel. So they're mainly like north and central, USA. So for some reason, I just never seen a Menards. But I guess whoever owns it is kind of like back when they had the Circus had Circus Hobbies, because the guy that owned the Circus Casino was a big RC airplane enthusiast. So he opened up his own hobby shop in the casino, branded it with the casino stuff. Well, anyway, this is not all that different. So Menards sells like home improvement stuff and decorations, but then they also have an O-scale train section. And one of the things they really do is they make very reasonably priced, very high quality buildings, and they make tracks. So they make a replica of the original Lionel stamp steel track, this track that actually worked. So I went ahead and got a nice layout. So I did like a big fat figure eight. So it's got a smaller figure eight up here, and then a big one out here. So it's pretty big. It's probably about 6 by 12 foot is the size of the figure eight. So it's got a crossover in the center. So I did the tree sitting inside of the smaller figure eight, and then the village is going to go out front. So I've got a lot of different buildings. So I'll put some pictures of it up on Hardware Flashback. I've got some new buildings for the year. I've got like a theater. I've got a Blockbuster. I've got an In-N-Out Burger. I've got a Subaru dealership. There's all kinds of neat. I try to add a couple buildings each year, but the other years I did a big oval, and I kind of put all the buildings around the tree and the oval. But now with the big figure eight, you got the tree. It's got a loop around it and all that stuff, and then I could really, really go to town. Pardon the pun. With any of the buildings and decorations. So that's going well.
Did you get Hornby over there?
Yes and no. It's like anything. It's, Lionel versus Hornby is our Chinese versus your Chinese. So you can get any of the Hornby stuff. It's just there's none of it you would really get because, like, they don't make the stuff at O scale. At least it's not, Lionel stuff. But like I do have the main thing I have in N scale is Kato, which is Japanese, and that is like the gold standard. That is the best stuff right there. So I do have some Hornby locomotives, and mainly actually the older stuff when it was actually designed and made in England. Now there's a whole documentary about how they reopened the Hornby Design Bureau and hired people and decided to bring as much of it. They realized they couldn't bring the manufacturing back to England, but pretty much the rest of it they brought back, and it's on YouTube. It's kind of a neat in-house little documentary they did. Well worth a watch if you like that stuff.
I had one of the older Hornby trains. I think James May showed a very similar one on one of his shows. Mine, it was like a Flying Scotsman, but you'd put a few drops of this oil in, and it would puff real smoke out while it was going round.
Yeah, that's kind of a hallmark feature of most of the sets. But yeah, if you didn't have it, you'd be upset. So yeah, it's it's just getting ready for Christmas, man. So next show I'll have everything up and running to report on that. But yeah, I got my video jukebox. I got my train layout. So the train layout I actually just did last night, just to make sure everything fit as I intended and all that. Also, because I have a Maine Coon, I can't just put up a tree or put up train tracks. He's gonna disassemble it. He wants to know what's inside and how it works. It's just the way that cat is. Yeah. So if I put up, like just put up the tree, he'd disassemble it. So I have to sneak things into his world very slowly. So like usually around 1st of
June.
October here. Yeah, the end of October, 1st of November, I'll take the tree box down and open it up just so he can sniff it, climb on it, try and fish out some pieces, And then maybe next week I'll set up like the base and the first section of it and just leave it alone until he's bored with it. He knows what's there. And then I slowly assemble the tree, and then I boot him out of the room. And I put up the decorations and the ornaments and the motorized ornaments and the lights. Then I let him back in the room, and he doesn't really notice that there's anything new there to screw with. So, yeah, it has to be done that way. So anyway, that's everything I've been up to, and we'll have all that completed by the next time we do the news. So that's me.
Over to the new Sheffield studio.
If it isn't washed away.
Not quite. No, we were all right. Although the downstairs toilet was doing some interesting things. Some almost geezer-like action. But yeah, I've not really played any games.
For a giant zip tie.
Yeah, it feels like fucking ages since I last touched anything. Other than just been plugging away at Wario Land 3. Just grabbing 5 minutes here or there to just mess about with that. And I think I'm on the last boss now. It seems very much like a last boss. Got to that yesterday, so that'll be done soon. I'll have to, I don't know, go back to Final Fantasy 9 or find something else to do. And then purchase-wise, obviously, I haven't unpacked all the old shit yet to replace it, to be buying new shit other than essentials like, CLS stud timber and rock wool and lots and lots of screws and shit like that. But this morning, I did get arrived through the letterbox. You what? Timber?
Yeah, nice and cheap.
Yeah, well, certainly not what it used to be. But it's not terrible, like stud work. But yeah, anything else is like, pretty ridiculous. I got a new cassette through the post this morning that Mike may be interested in, which is not going to, I could try and focus, but it's Corrupt FM's Greatest Hits Part 1.
Nice.
Which I thought I just suddenly randomly came across it. And I was like, well, that seems like the perfect thing to add to my growing cassette collection.
Is it only available on cassette?
No, I think they've got CDs. And it's obviously on streaming and stuff. I just assumed it'd be like streaming only sort of thing. But yeah. So that's a bit of fun. That's kind of it, really. It's just been moving lots of shit around. I did get freaked out when someone actually ordered a James and Watch a couple of weeks ago, and I had a bit of a panic, no idea where the fuck it was going to end up, whether it was going to be still in the old house loft, because there's still a bunch of stuff there that I need to sort out, or if it was going to be in the new loft. It was in the new loft. Where the fuck would it be? Buried somewhere. It took me about 3 hours to find my old Pine 64 today because I wanted to set that back up. And thought I knew where it was, but clearly didn't.
Have you still got one? Because I think we raffle a couple off or put them in the lucky dip or something? Because I had a couple of them.
Something like that might have had it. Yeah, I still use one. It was It's for sort of mostly for torrent, the torrent client, but it did run a small web server, and I was running Nextcloud off it. But I'm moving Nextcloud to my NAS because the USB hard drive speed was just a massive bottleneck for that. And it was all right for what I wanted to do, but it was annoying sometimes when I was sharing footage with my mate. I suppose, speaking of footage, I did do a 48-hour film competition in, well, it was the Glasgow base for it, but we were just in Edinburgh. We just sent two people over to Glasgow for the kickoff, and they now do internet submissions, so we didn't have to drive over with a file on a drive all the way over to Glasgow and hand it in before the deadline, which was quite nice because it afforded us a bit of extra time, which we definitely needed. And yeah, we had a good time. We'd sort of secured a nightclub as a possible location, and then we ended up with picking out the genre randomly of like single room as a genre. So we were just like, well, that just fits with us just filming the entire thing in this, because this nightclub's just one room. So we're like, well, that's settled that then. The problem with that is it meant we had to do, we were only filming at night, all night in the fucking nightclub. So then the schedule was just bonkers, because it was basically sort of 7 in the evening in the club till 3 in the morning, try and get an Uber home because all the other transports stopped, get a bit of sleep, and then start doing ADR recording with the actors and stuff, because all the audio inside the club's absolutely useless. So yeah, turned into a bit of a mad weekend, but it was a good laugh. Been a while since a lot of us had got together, so that was the sort of the main thing of it, was just hanging out with friends. Similar to why we go to the expos, just to hang out with people as an excuse, more than doing expo sort of business a lot of the time.
Yeah, you were missed in Blackpool. What you should do as well, if we think about it next time, is maybe give me a stock of James and Watch things and whatever to put in the booth, because I sold a few more books. I've only got, I think, 5 or 6 left in this box from the original print run in the UK now. So they just trickle out at expos. So you may sell some stuff, you may not.
I think we meant to leave
because it's currently empty.
Yeah, I think we meant to leave you with some revival, but I don't think we did. I think I'm out of burnt discs at the moment, so I need to figure out where my CD burner is, or burners are, and then duplicate a bunch more discs and get them all packaged up.
Are you going to crash in a couple of weeks?
Random, how does this work? Do you have like a, do you get like a topic, like they tell you at like noon, okay, you can pick from this genre and this length? What guidance are you given? And then what's the timeline like? To how do you figure out the shots you got to make? How do you have second units, or is it one place?
It depends. But so the way the competition works is basically everyone gets together at about 6 o'clock, usually in like I think it was in a bar or something. The time I went, but then this year there was twice as many teams as the last time we did it, so it would have been, I don't know where they've held it. It would have been rammed. But basically, you all go up in your team and you now pick 2 genres out of a hat, and you can either do one or the other or both. So we picked comedy and single room. We did toy with the idea of, are we going to do comedy? And then we're like, well, let's just see, like, give it 12 hours, see how funny we think it is, and then we'll decide whether we lean into it or not. But then, so that all happens, all the teams do that, and then just before 7 o'clock, they announce, they give you a character name and a job that the character does. So for this one, it was Milo Cranberries, who was a fizzy drinks maker. They give you a line of dialogue you have to use, which was, what did you say? Which is perfect for us because we're in a noisy club. So we were like, great, yeah. Constantly people are going to be saying, what did you say? Can't hear you. And then the other thing is a prop, which was, for this was a football. And luckily one of the actors that we had a handbag made out of a football. So we had that, it all sorted out. But there's been like times in the past where like, I've been at Asda at 3 o'clock in the morning hunting around for piggy banks and shit. Just like, we need a piggy bank as a prop. Where the fuck are we going to find it? And like, you know, if I could lug my 3D printer over to up to Scotland these days, it'd be possibly quite easy to just go, what's the prop? Oh, no problem, I'll print something. But
he'll be ready 18 hours into our 24-hour competition.
yeah, well, yeah, that's the other thing. But yeah, so I like usually what would happen is the way we used to do it, where we were filming mostly in the day. The writers would spend, you know, from 7 o'clock would then sit up all night writing, then come up with a shot list with the DOP as well, and then everyone would wake up in the morning. All get given copies of the scripts, copies of the shot list, and then, you know, if we need to split up into two like units, we'd do that. A lot of the time we'd try and keep it together, and then we'd shoot for the day, and then get to the evening, hand all the files to the editor. He starts editing, edits through the night. Some of us get some sleep. One of them will pick up the edit then later when, early in the following morning to help finish that off. Then, you know, another group will go out, get any other pickup shots that we need and start filtering them back to the editors. And then hopefully by 5 p.m. on the Sunday, you've got something that's coming together. With this, because of the nightclub business, it was just, we didn't have a shot list. We had, the script, we had half a script by the time we got to the club. No shot list. We just started filming it as we could in sort of trying to get it in some sort of order.
Well, just knowing you'll need a bar, you'll need people dancing, you'll need...
Well, like the opening scene was like, you know, sort of the entrance stairs to the club. So, you know, that was sort of locked in. So we were able to start on that. And then we sort of just progressed on from there. Then probably about 11:30, we got the final scripts, found the director hiding in a pub 5 minutes down the road. So went and got him, had a chat and a beer with him, and looked over the script, and then got back to it. The second night we did have an actual shooting, a shot list by then, and a bit more of a plan. But we'd actually done quite a lot of it. We'd done quite well. We just sort of, there was a load of tricky shots with. We had a scene with twins, but only had one actor. So you do the thing where you have a static camera and you film them on one side and then you film them on the other side, and then you merge the two together. Now, the problem being, in a nightclub, there's fucking lights going off all over the place and all sorts of shit. So it's really hard to actually, pull that off. But I sort of banged heads with one of the actors who was sort of also assistant producer, and we had to think about in the club locations, and decided that, the Dance Dance Revolution machine, that's right round the corner from the dance floor and doesn't have quite so much crazy lights. We can probably turn the screen off, so that's not a problem. And they were supposed to be dancing as well at some point, so it made sense that these guys are on this dance machine, and that turned out really well because you've got the establishing shot of them is just from the front, 3/4 on, and there's just two of them on the dance machine, and it was filmed completely out of sync, but then it worked so well. And then they sort of then turn around on the bars on the back of the dance platform and hail the main lead actor. So that's kind of how it went. It's all just seat of the pants, guerrilla filmmaking. It's good fun.
So is the final result up? Is it like on YouTube? People can go check it out?
Yeah, it is on YouTube now. If you look for a channel called Craigie Henderson, and the film's called Chasing Rabbits.
All right, let's
Send it to news and I'll put it. Do you want it in the show notes?
Right,
You're
yeah,
not
that's
bothered.
good. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Whiz it over. We'll put it in the show notes.
But yeah, so it'd been years since we'd done one because the feature film took a lot out of us. We sort of not wanted to really go back to the 48s because they are a bit mental. But this sort of like, as soon as we, the day after everyone had sort of gone home and gone back
What's it
to
called?
work and their normal life, I'm just going to send it into the news.
All right.
Yeah, the day after, it's like, right, so we're going to do the one in the Edinburgh one in May then, and hey, let's film it in the middle of fucking nowhere in a bothy and stuff like that. Which is something we've wanted to do for ages. So yeah, it should be good fun if we pull that off.
So I found the Craig Henderson gaming. It's a lot of gaming videos.
No, that's not it. It's Craigie with a Y at the end, but it's coming in. It's coming at you in the email.
right.
Hang on. There we go.
Coming at you, Cleopatra. Coming at you.
Sure as shit not gonna find it with a name that's almost like any other name, but not quite.
Just go on YouTube and
Christine
search for
with
a
a
channel
K.
called Videos.
Search for short film.
It's made by Catherine with a K, because that's unique.
Did I actually send that to the right address? Yeah,
I don't
apparently so.
think yet.
Google says it's sent, but
I've got a question for you,
Oh.
Random. So some of the stuff you're sending and other people are sending, it used to, so when they land in the inbox, it used to give me like a full URL, and now it gives me a URL that would be like share.google.com. Is that because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
sending it by Gmail? Who's doing what to whom?
that's Android when you're forwarding stuff, because
So
that's
right,
the
you're doing
easy,
it on your
lazy
phone
way.
and sharing it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. There's a few people doing it, and I thought, what's changed here? It's like the last, 4 months or something, it's got a lot more prevalent. It's not a problem, I just wondered what the change was. There it is, Dave's film. I think
All
I'm
right.
muted
That took a
on here,
while,
so-
didn't it?
Chasing rabbits. Hi, listeners. Just wait a minute while we all watch a film.
Yeah.
We'll
Good
be right
audio
back after
content,
these short
this.
messages.
Would it pop in at the bottom, or there it is?
Yeah, it's at the bottom. Pop it like it's hard. Pop it like it's hard.
Hop in the bottom. Pop your trousers off.
Right. I'm skipping through. I will watch it properly. I'm just looking at.
Mhm.
Shove the girl out of the way.
Do you get a credit, Randall?
Where's the... Yes.
Calvin Moises, Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yep.
He's
So yeah, that's about 3 minutes 20. The DDR stuff.
Sound and assistant camera by Ben Lancaster.
That's right.
Yeah, boy.
I do all sorts of jobs. They never know what to really put me. I'm just a fixer.
DDR. Yeah.
Drink me. That looks trustworthy.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, if anyone's still listening, it's more live than live news, but hey, it's been a while. It feels like it's been ages since the three of us have been together. I know I've missed a couple of top tens that Random's done. So has it been 3 months since we were all together? It could be. Could be.
Who knows? Like I say, it seems like even that weekend, which was the weekend after Blackpool, seems like it was fucking ages ago. And then Blackpool seems like it was weeks and weeks before that was, but it wasn't. It's just, yeah.
Well, Gareth
Things be
Hamer is in
mad.
chat, and he says he's still listening. So if he is, then maybe others are as well. Who knows? Not me. All
It's
right.
all right.
Maybe.
It's not that we have to don't have to do all the news anyway. It'll start to wind down for the year, so we might as well save some.
Yeah. Well, we saved some last month. We will probably save some this month. We'll try and get rid of the duplicates as well. So, quick one here from Peter Gibbs, who says, "Didn't this make a top 10?" It was the pinball game Space Cadet that was built into Windows. A former Microsoft engineer, Dave Plummer, admits he accidentally coded it to run at like 5,000 frames per second on Windows NT. But we've seen this with older games that, DOS games that you try and run on modern computers. They were built to sort of the CPU clock speed or whatever. So when this game came out on current hardware and software, it would run at... if you click anywhere on the page, it takes you away. The whole page is a link. It's a fucking nightmare. It would run at 60 to 90 frames a second, he says. But when you got to newer hardware, if you run it now, it will literally run at about 5,000 frames per second. So, yeah, there is an article on that. So thank you, Peter Gibbs, who we had a little email conversation. Was it this month or was it last month? Anyway, he said, "Great job on the pod." So I told him to fuck right off.
Fantastic.
So got one here from Peter Gibbs, David Gyrich. Let's see who else. Alan Hegedus, probably myself. I have it on my notepad here. So a lot of people had something to say about this, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. So, not long ago, Atari acquired the rights to the Intellivision games from, as I understand it, the Amico crew. So, the Amico crew had apparently obtained the Intellivision game rights, and they were going to make a console called the Amico that was a new production Intellivision. I ordered 2 of them myself. I still actually have the email and everything. I found the original emails and all where Nurmix and I were going back and forth, and he goes, "Yeah, dude, just saw your order come through," and everything. And so, as a sign of their good faith towards making that product, they sold off the Intellivision games to Atari because, hey, what do they need them for? But swear they're still making a console any day now. So Atari buys the rights to the Intellivision game, and in just barely a year, produces a new console, the Intellivision Sprint, right? So it looks, I have the Intellivision Flashback, which is got 2 of them there, and it is analog, it's great. It works, it plays the games, it's all fine and good. So I remember this was their big launch at CGE 2014, so 10 years ago. This was their big launch, is that Intellivision Flashback. So they did that, and now Atari has released an Intellivision Sprint. So it's a little more involved. I would say the controllers are a little nicer looking. I haven't got one in my hands yet. And certainly the game unit looks as good as any. HDMI, so it's modernized to, the current standards. So, don't know quite how it plays yet. Looking forward to seeing it, though. What do you guys think of this?
Yeah, the whole process of Atari buying the Intellivision license but not the Amico was interesting, but it looks interesting. and I've been listening to so on in the booth at Blackpool. I have a touchscreen PC, and you can listen to clips of some people we've interviewed on the show. One page of them, it's just 5 clips, is Keith Robinson. Well, I've been through the HTML on that because not many people these days, whether it's from COVID or whatever, pick up a set of headphones and put them on. So on the touchscreen, I've made it so you can read the text. And so you can click on it. You don't have to put the headphones on and listen. You can literally just read what each person says. And so I've been going through all of those pages and just listening to Keith talking about, some of the Intellivision properties, and then this coming in. I just think, I don't know, it's just, I want something good to come of the Intellivision name. I think, obviously, Atari, are more in a position now with some of their recent products, which I think look quite good. The garish 2600 they make, yes, it's bright yellow, but it looks an interesting product. The decanter
should be showing up today, I think. Because the pre-order for that Pac-Man edition,
yes, yeah,
was due in. I don't know if it ships or if it arrives October 31st,
right.
Or if it just doesn't show up without a single fucking word, and then you find out it's months away.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Got it. And the other thing that I really like the look of, it was too expensive for my taste, but the decanter they did, the Atari joystick decanter, I think that looks beautiful. So I think Atari have got some good products, and I think they're trying to do the right thing, and hopefully they, will look after the Intellivision name. So interesting product. I'm gonna, just see what happens.
Yeah, I'll order one, of course, and I'll review it for the show. And, I'm not like, it's not like I don't have 10 other ways to play Intellivision. I have Intellivisions. I've got my, number, what is it? I can't see it from here. And number 69.
69.
That will never not be funny, dude. Emily, because, hey, so, you're getting whatever one you want. What one do you want? I was like, How old are you? 11? Anyway, I got it. But, I know. We'll see. I'll get one, but I don't know if it's going to be anything more than just, okay, power up and plays Intellivision games. I can already do that. Okay, great. Good. But, so next product that is in my notes to talk about top for the news is after, 5 years of waiting, somehow the logjam has finally cleared on the Amiga 1200 full size from RetroGames.biz. Now, love these guys, love what they've done, except one thing about them we'll talk about. But I've got their minis of the Amiga. I've got the minis of the Commodore up there. I've got the VC64 is my main Commodore now. Because really on my classic Commodore, I had, the Fastload cartridge. I had, the multi-cartridge, the disk drive emulator that used the SD cards, tape. So I had already digitized, the whole process. And the only thing I was really doing is running it on original hardware, which, I like. But I got a good number of Commodore 64s. I don't mind turning one on and running it. But just for day-to-day, this thing has replaced my regular C64. So my regular C64 is on the shelf still. But this thing, all I have to do is just one switch. It's on. Pick the game, hit the button, play the game. And it's just a wonderful experience. I think they nailed it. So love what these guys are doing. And they just the other day announced, so they don't tell you where or how they're going to do the pre-order. So there's that. But available for pre-order 10 November 2025 for shipping in June 2026, targeted shipping date. So that means in 10 days here, I'll be able to get my pre-order in for the A1200. And it is a full-size working keyboard. Now, if you look at the difference between the C64 Mini and the C64, it's basically the keyboard, and that's it. It's the same board set. There's some minor differences, but to accommodate the keyboard and all. But they run the exact same games in the exact same way, as you would expect. It's just a a slightly augmented version of the Amiga. So if you've got the 500 Mini, you're going to be able to play nothing new on this thing, except it's the nice form factor, which I really like. So the Mini was okay, but for me, the modern full form factor is what I want. So it's finally announced. I will be jumping on it. But I'd like to ask our listeners and even co-hosts to do something here. Reach out to retrogames.biz. It's support at retrogames.biz, B-I-Z. Okay? So I emailed these guys, and I said, look, I got your C64 Mini. I can't wait to get to the C64, right? And here, I sent the links to the show. I said, these are all the things we said about you, right? And they're like, oh, great, yeah, we'll definitely hook you up. And then they never did. And so the YouTubers, what they do, like they do like anybody else, they go to YouTube, they search gaming podcast, they search retro gaming podcast, they search retro gaming Commodore, they make a list, and they send all those guys to review. And they get them 3 to 6 months before we do, right? Sucks. I can't talk about it early for you guys, right? I mean, believe me, I'm buying 1, 2, 3, 4 or more on my own dime. No problem there. But I'd really like one early ahead of the curve to review it for you guys instead of having to wait, to the last minute. So if you guys, listeners, please just take a moment, pause the show, support at retrogames.biz, and remind them that audio podcasts still exist and review their stuff. And if it said wonderful, nice things about them, and we just like to get their hands on the hardware, the YouTubers do. So if y'all could do that for us, that would be mighty nice of you. So I'm super stoked. Can't wait to get a hold of it. And yes, it's going to be a good year for hardware, man. I got that Pac-Man maybe arriving today, maybe tomorrow, maybe 3 months now. And what else is there? Something else that I had on pre-order.
Vectrex Kickstarter is coming.
And then the Vectrex is in 3 days. So basically, in 2 to 3 days, Vectrex Mini, and then in 10 days, the Amiga. So I am stoked to get my pre-order. It's going to be a good summer next year with all this stuff showing up. So can't wait to do it.
And obviously, you've been well excited about the latest Bitmap books, which is the scrolling beat 'em up one.
Oh God! Just before we continue with the news, Scott, I don't know if anything went on, if you got weather, but you dropped to shit, and then you've come back now, but you went really bad for a sec. We could hear what you said.
Cosplay.
Yeah. It looked like your bandwidth went to nothing and then came back. So it seems okay now, but I don't know if there's something developing. Yes.
Nothing I can see.
What's Bitmap books, Random?
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's in news, but yeah, I just got an email from the other day, and it just reminded me that with all the excitement over buying things, that they announced the scrolling beat 'em up book, and I was like, I could send that to Mike, but for a laugh, but nah. But something one that we've got from Charlie, which looks like it was rollover from last month still. This is AI up-resed Mortal Kombat character graphics, and it actually looks pretty fucking decent. And I've been wondering and wanting them to do, they moved to 3D for, I guess I was going to say political reasons. It was market reasons around the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 felt they couldn't get away with doing a 2D game, and they've kind of stuck in the 3D era since. And they've got very good looking, don't get me wrong, and they do all the fun X-ray bone skeleton business, a bit like Sniper Elite, but for fighting games. But this actually looks really cool, and it really makes me want them to do a proper HD video version of Mortal Kombat. I mean, I guess there's a degree where you can't just get away with the cheap ass costumes that you used to have, because they'd show up to it, to all the flaws would show up. But I mean, I don't want them to, this is a pretty good AI upscale, but I don't want them to just go back and AI upscale. I want like a brand new filming, new actors. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see, if they have thought about it and what the cost analysis is of actually doing a a full HD or even 4K, basically Mortal Kombat digitized fighting game.
Yeah, it did look good. Some of those videos. There was another one. Was that? Was it all Mortal Kombat? Oh, I think I clicked on that when it came in, and it sent me down a rabbit hole of that was like the original Mortal Kombat, and we've done Mortal Kombat 2, and you can look at that, and it's how the YouTube algorithm goes. You watch one thing, and you're forever watching that subject. But there was a few of them. One here from Gareth Hamer. Super Mario Brothers Remastered PC is available for download. It may not be when you hear this, cause Nintendo. But try and grab it if you can. There's a couple of Game Boy things. One is from Gareth Hamer. I think this was the only one of this type. You can now emulate Game Boy games on your Pokemon Mini. But one of the other ones that came in from a few people about playing Game Boy games was sent in by, and I'm scrolling down because I did find one. I think Random Dave sent it in, but he was slow off the mark because he was beaten to it by a few people. I'm trying to scroll down and find them. I'm struggling to do that at the moment, but a few people sent that in. The Lego Game Boy will now play real Game Boy cartridges because, let's be clear, this is not an emulator. Natalie, whoever she is, didn't stuff a Raspberry Pi in there. It's far more impressive than that. What you're seeing are real Game Boy cartridges running on real Game Boy chips, soldered to a real circuit board of her own creation with working buttons. So I've missed the whole thing on this Lego Game Boy. What is it, Randy?
Right. It's a Game Boy. It's a Lego kit that builds just a Game Boy.
Is it meant to power up and have a screen, or does it just look like a Game Boy?
Not the original, just a Game Boy. Similar how I was going to say, well, the NES had a TV and a weird background thing that scrolled kind of did things, but then there was an Atari which had then little dioramas for a couple of the games. So yeah, they've done a couple of these console things. I appear to have sent it in twice because I sent it in at the start of the month, which was saying
that
hey,
may be what I'm thinking of then when multiple
someone's figured out hardware to put inside this. Oh, they've actually put a Game Boy inside it. But then the one I sent a couple of days ago is a Kickstarter for a kit that someone's now coming out with, which I think is possibly just an emulation board, because it mentions like Game Boy Advance and all sorts. Yeah, I think it's just. It looks like it's a small SBC that fits inside like the cartridge shell that then goes inside, but then you replace the screen with an actual LCD and the buttons. So they're doing that as an actual kit you can buy.
So now you can have a Game Boy that falls apart in your hands, unlike the original.
yeah. I found the other person. It was Gareth Hamer. Sent the Lego Game Boy in.
Now, for a minute, I thought you guys you were going for the Pokemon Mini Game Boy.
I did do that
was
first.
Yeah.
I heard you like Pokemon, so I put Pokemon in your Pokemon. That one.
And then I all of a sudden you were talking about Legos. I'm like, is this the same thing? What the hell? But I guess it's the month of Frankenstein Game Boys.
Yeah, seems to be. Next up.
Shit.
Another from Gareth Hamer. Developer hosts Minecraft server on a Sega Dreamcast. Were you just going to do that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, it does what it says on the tin. It's interesting, the whole Minecraft thing. Is it a game? Is it not a game? We have tons of people come in the computer museum and just sit and play Minecraft. And I built a server, just Linux based on an old PC that I had. I think it was actually one of my brother's old PCs that he used for his business, and he said, I've got a new one, do you want this? Okay. Stuck a graphics card in, a bit more RAM, built a Minecraft server on it, took it to the museum, and now all the clients in the cafe join it, and people can play Minecraft on the same server. So it's really interesting to see such a simple, is it a game, is it not, thing that's Minecraft. Just people just fucking love it. I mean, it's crazy.
And it's been like, it's got to be in the decades now that it's, been big.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember first hearing people sort of mentioning this thing called Minecraft, and it's where you mine and you craft things, and they were trying to explain it, and no one had heard of it at this point, and that must have been around 2003-ish or something. But then it just explode, and it's stayed the hot shit for so long now. It's bonkers.
Millie used to watch. She used to play the game, and she used to watch YouTubers streaming it. Like there was this, I can't remember his name now, but there was a YouTuber, and that's all he did, streamed himself playing Minecraft. And she's like, "Oh, watch what he does here, Dad. He gets the Ender Dragon, or whatever it is." And it's just, I don't know.
Look, Dad, he's going to punch a tree. He's going to punch a tree. Look at him punch the tree.
Look at
He's
he
pushing the
broke up
tree.
blocks. But here's okay, you can put the blocks back. So I got one here from Spinal Cord, and it said, "Yo guys, this Australian fellow made a portable Xbox, quite entertaining." Okay, fair enough. But I mean, we've been seeing portable Xboxes for forever. I mean, remember when Ben Heck did like that first ever portable Xbox, and it was in like a suitcase? You'd open it up, and it was all nicely finished and all. This guy took the exact opposite approach. He uses a Makita, like an 8-inch angle grinder, to do all of his cuts with. It doesn't matter if it's a controller or a PCB or even a connector. He breaks out this angle grinder and smacks the board. So he cut an Xbox controller in half, stuck an Xbox motherboard in between the two halves, and then put the drive. And then to hold it all together, he uses Australia's finest domestic brand of duct tape. And it is built with a rock and a hammer is the only way to put it. And then the damn thing actually works at the end. So not the most sophisticated work I've ever seen, but you start with a wreck of an Xbox and you make the world's most interesting Xbox portable. So
Australia built with a hammer and duct tape.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see if that's what Amazon dropped off on the front porch. Maybe we'll have
an exclusive.
A live arrival.
Breaking news, guys.
Flaming bag of dog turd.
Let's do an unboxing video. During the meanwhilest, what did I have here? AI Revolution from David Gyrick. And this is an article on theinformation.com. Where else are you going to go for your information but theinformation.com? What a fucking great URL.
Oh. What will they think of next? Yeah, theinternet.net.
That's fantastic. Studio says AI is finally good enough to design video games. And that's the article. Have I got to pay to read more? Or is that subscribe to unlock?
Continue with Google or Apple. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. But then, I don't know if I sent it, but I read today that somebody, somewhere, which is narrowing it right down, but it was... Was it somebody from Xbox, I think, saying AI... Oh, it was to do with GTA. A developer or a studio saying... Listen, AI is not making a GTA-style game anytime soon. You need intelligence for that, and AI hasn't got it, so...
Yeah. I don't think... Well, I was going to say, I don't think this is a surprise to anyone, but actually, no, I think to some of them, it probably would be. We'll see. I mean, Musk wants to make an entirely AI-generated game, doesn't he? So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. Something that's not AI generated and probably worth playing. Peter Gibbs says, check out this Indiana Jones game, and he spelt it as in the country, because someone has made reimagined Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis as a ZX Spectrum text adventure, and it comes in English and in Czech, so presumably it was a Czech developer that has done it. Not a great deal of this, like a title screen, and then the in-game screen just appears to be purely text, so it's not even a bit of graphics to go with it. But that's not such a bad thing. But it does make you wish perhaps it was done as a Z machine instead or something. Rather than a purely Spectrum game, so that you could. I mean, not that it's hard to emulate a Spectrum, but. Yeah, it'd be nice if like more ways to play. You could have played it on your card pewter.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I wonder if anyone's done anything like that on the card pewter. Retro Hamer says my volume drops. It's probably because I'm moving about like this and then like this. And this microphone is very directional. Watch when I do this, and it does that. I need a microphone that's less directional. A new arcade in Belfast. And who's that? Is that you, Random?
I'm guessing that's Scott's doorbell.
Probably Scott's. Can't wait for his unboxing video. From David.
He's locked himself out. He's trying to.
guys,
went to get his package, door locked behind him, and he's like, someone let me in. And there he is.
This is, David Gyrick, a new retro arcade. It's in Belfast. The Vintage Video Arcade in the heart of Belfast. 80s and 90s retro arcades and classic consoles. Open every weekend at Cityside. No booking required, just come on down. Did I click on this? Was this the one? There's not on this link. There was one that was, flat screen arcade machines and all of that rather than classics, but
it's hard to tell off the pictures here.
Yeah, I suppose you take what you can get. Are we doing an unboxing, Scott?
No, well, it won't be much of one. So I got 6-foot USB extensions. I'm actually so for the train layout, I decided, because model railroad stuff is really kind of sketchy when it comes to like. There's no specs ever, it's like, it's just sketchy. And I've never really liked some of the quality for like, especially lighting. So I got these neat little PCBs and you can snap them. They're designed to be put on a keychain, right? So you can have like 12 LEDs, 4 LEDs, any denomination you want. You just snap off the part you don't want, right? So it's got like, imagine just the PCB part of a USB that fits into the connector with like 2 to 12 LEDs. Very simple, right? So I'm using a single USB power supply through a little hub, and then I'm running the USB cables over to every structure, then just using USB lighting panels inside the building. So, and also like I converted some of the other buildings over to USB. So in fact, I'm going to go get this one and plug it in so you guys can see it. It's really cool. But, I'm just, screw it, USB, everything, plug it up, it works. None of this janky-ass model railroad connectors. So that's how I'm lighting up the whole scene. I'll cover one real quick here that makes absolutely no sense from David Gyrich, who makes a lot of sense because he sends things into our news. So it says, from pixels to perfume, 4 classic gaming-inspired fragrances. All right, so... They're releasing the C64, powerful and sophisticated with citrus, florals, and rich patchouli musk base. Patchouli. All right, so 25 years ago, I headed down to D.C. I was like, you know what? I'm here in the nation's capital, and, we're going to have, a giant 4th of July parade. May as well make the pilgrimage down and check it out, right? And we're out there, and, you have the Army band, the Navy band, things you expect to see at a 4th of July parade. And then all of a sudden comes about 50 hippies chained up like a Egyptian work gang building pyramids. And they're dragging a temple on wheels through the road, right? And it was the Hare Krishna group, right? as they got near to you, the stench wafted over you. And it was, I can only describe it as patchouli and ass. Now, I believe in freedom of religion. I also believe in freedom to bathe. But I will never forget the smell of rancid human and patchouli. So I'm going to take a pass on this from the very beginning. I just don't understand. Like, there's nothing scent-related. This is just somebody. This is like when they do like.
Do you
vodka.
want to smell like a game expo?
Hear me out. Hear me out. So say, hear me out. Hear me out. So we go.
Do you want to smell like Comic Con?
Blackpool Retro Expo. It smells of sewage and fish. Portland Retro Gaming Expo. It just smells of like weed. Probably.
Sewage and fish and weed.
Some sadness.
Fentanyl and weed. Then you have like Generic Expo, which just smells of just BO and burgers. And then you have Whoopsie, which is just like burnt electronic smell. That's what you want.
Well, my patchouli
plug the
story.
Go
on.
I plugged the 120 volt device into the 240. Whoops, that smell.
My patchouli
Magic
story
smoke.
goes further back than that. So in 1980/81, my oldest brother would have been 17, and he got his motorbike, and he was hanging about with motorbike people, and all of them had leather jackets and denim waistcoats over the top of the leather jacket with Motorhead embroidered on it and all of that. And all of them squirted patchouli oil on all the leather jackets, on the denim waistcoat, everything. The whole lot of them stunk of patchouli oil. I'm like, why? What are you doing, man?
Patchouli is just, that's one hell of a thing to come up with. I mean, who smelled that and said, I want to smell like that? Holy shit.
Castrol Sport R. That's the smell that should have been marketed.
Well, back, 20-something years ago, they did have this man potpourri that they were selling. And it was like tobacco, motor oil, gunpowder in like a potpourri. Okay, I can make some sense of that. But, well, I mean, so you get floral crescents and notes of coconut, and you're calling that the Commodore 64. You're just slapping the name on something trying to get. It's just that's just stupid. Yeah, so this is why I converted over to USB. So you'll see the. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but
better with the lights out. Yeah, that's all right. You could come
it's
closer.
probably a little overpowered, isn't it? It's probably a little too bright, isn't it?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Looks good.
Oh, you can see the detail.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you notice, the colored bits will slowly
In
start
fact, if
changing
you keep
color.
it there, I can put you full screen. Whoa.
Whoa.
YouTube will catch up, but you are now full screen.
But yeah, so you see how the colors are changing, sort of like going from a red to a green. So the rest of the building is lit in soft white, and then there's two color changers, and it's just all LED, powered off USB. So, yep, that's. So I'm a big fan of just USB converting because you can get like any color changing LED you want to get, any form factor, and it's all available in USB. So why fight it? Why not just get something that works? And then the whole thing is powered off of that little Apple cell phone charger from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But and I just put it into a something I don't know why I didn't throw away, one of those USB 1 hubs that just fine distributing power for a couple LEDs. So not bad.
Yeah.
But no, so I guess the Atari is going to ship today and then show up whenever. Or I'm going to check Amazon and see what's up. But I doubt we'll be taking one out of the box today.
Yeah, one of the USB conversions I did, I may have mentioned it on the show before. So in my last house, I had the TV above the fireplace, but I chopped all the plaster out, made a channel, put HDMI cables up. I ran 2 up. I only needed 1, but I put a spare just in case you need it or the first one breaks, whatever. I ran Ethernet up there. Did I? No, I had a socket fitted. Yeah, that went through the same channel. So I had all that done, replastered it, etc. So no cables visible. Then I went to connect up the Wii, and I'm like, fuck, the sensor bar. Like the Wii's over there, the TV's there, you've got to have a sensor bar. So I ordered a spare one off probably AliExpress. In fact, I think I ordered 2 in case I fuck one up. Just chop the end off it, because literally the sensor bar plugs into the Wii for power. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just got 6 LED lights in it. So chop the end off, hooked it up to a USB connector, soldered that up, plugged it into a USB socket on the TV. It got 5 volts. Hey presto, it works.
Yep. Easy peasy.
It was I don't know if it's still a thing, but yeah, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, everyone had started to convert all of their consoles to USB-C because all the sort of the power delivery stuff was starting to become like really like cheap to get hold of. So you could basically adapt it to any voltage you need. I assume people are still doing that, but yeah, it makes sense. You just get a big multi-brick, USB PD power adapter, and then just plug all of your consoles in through that.
I've converted a number of mine over to USB-C, notably the Coleco and the Atom. It's just great. I mean, you got 100 watts on tap and a very small connector. You can even do the magnet type, so just throw the wire in the general direction of the console and it sticks and provides power. Yeah, way better than the old heavy analog power supplies.
Yeah. You've still got your light off, Scott. I don't know if you meant to. Doesn't really matter to me.
It's atmospheric.
It
nice.
is.
Spooky.
Yeah. Spooky Scott. It's Halloween. One here from...
If that helps out.
There you go. One here for... Oh, no. Fuck, turn it off. One from David Gyrick, entitled simply Mario. And someone behind this had a sense of humour, because if you played a pirated Super Smash Bros. Exactly 69 times on the N64, their anti-piracy measure would make you only be able to play Mario forevermore. So... somebody there had a sense of humour. Why 69 times? Well, I don't know.
Very odd approach to it.
Yeah, got one here where Nintendo's lawyers are back in the news again, obviously, because it's a month. It's a day that ends in Y. But this is a bit confusing, because they seem to be now arguing in the Pal World lawsuit, which was anyone that doesn't know, it's a game that came out where creatures looking a lot like Pokemons but with guns. We're doing lots of various Pokemon-like things with a bit of Minecrafty crafting shit on top. But they were claiming that it's not copyright infringement because people have made Pokemon mods for other games that allow players to basically capture and battle with enemies, games like Dark Souls. And then Nintendo, where, obviously they're very much against mods and shutting them down, of anything. Their lawyers are saying, well, this doesn't count as a prior art and things like that. And you can't use that as your argument for your game existing because mods aren't games. So yeah, they're now saying that sort of mods don't count when it suits them, but obviously do count when it does suit them. But yeah.
You know what Nintendo is very rapidly about to become? Nintendo is very rapidly about to become a company that has absolutely fallen into insignificance. I mean, they will be remembered for all the DS, the Wii, the NES, the SNES. We will own and love that hardware, but we won't give the slightest of fucks about their current ventures. Not at all. And I think that's what they're headed to, irrelevancy. So I don't want a Switch 3 that is a remote play only to a Nintendo server where they have a selection of shovelware that I don't want to play. I have no interest in that. I won't be buying it. And so Nintendo, to me, is basically near dead, if not already dead. Same with most of the manufacturers. So when basically I regard Nintendo as dead, meaning probably with the Switch 2, where they're not making anything that I want to buy at all because you're not really buying anything. So the only thing Nintendo will be to me at that point is a defunct company that still hangs on with lawyers bothering people that make things I actually do care about. So I think Nintendo is really
Atari circa
more than a nuisance.
Atari circa 10 to 5 years ago, before they turned shit around and seemed to be starting to make decent things again.
Yeah. Oh, I see you've been making products for the community for 15 years. Would you like to license them and make them still? No, fuck off. How about that? Yeah, I don't see Nintendo being relevant to me in any context other than what shit are their lawyers up to now and who are they bothering that was actually making something I wanted. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Got one here from Gareth Hamer. No context. The title says, no more expensive retro games in the Netherlands. If you click on it, you get a page that says, oh, Cromulus, we konden niet vinden wat ze zoeken. And then beneath that, it says, geen zorgen, je kunt achid zoeken naar verborgen, juweltjes. And now I'm half German, half English pronunciation of Dutch, which I know is neither. Op onze website of in onze winkels. So, I guess that's the news. So if anybody knows what the hell that means, let us know.
I did translate this. The browser,
I just read it in native language.
the browser I opened it in offered me a translation, and now it isn't doing. So maybe it's a one-time deal. You can translate it. It was.
We can find the page you're looking for.
It was. Fuck no.
Yeah, 404.
Yeah. No more expensive retro game. I don't know. It's not offering me a translation. I'm sure it was this browser. Is there a translate button?
I'm just checking it. Well, let's see. Apparently, it's Romanian that Google thinks it is.
I would say
and then
it's
it's
Dutch.
given me it's given me a blank page, so that ain't working.
So Atari is seemingly coming out with a product a month now. Some I'm interested in, some I accept them for what they are, like the watch. It's a novelty. It's pretty cool, well built novelty. They have now dropped, in addition to the 2600 plus Pac-Man edition, they released the Game Station Go. So it's a 7-inch screen. It's got a keypad. It's got your 4 buttons and a kind of a spinner, if you will, but it has no weight, so I don't have to really work with a spinner. But anyway, it is the Atari Game Station. So the Game Station Go. I'm sorry, the Game Station Go. It looks like a place of all your classics, and then it's got like a steady pinball on there that looks pretty cool. $180. That is like for reference, the DS, because I just looked it up, was $149 when it came out. That was 20 years ago. But $180. That's solidly out of what do you call it? Impulse purchase, and that is into you're trying to compete with something. So obviously, it's not competing with a Switch. What did they build this for? What are they trying to do? I don't know. Maybe it'll sell. Maybe it won't. It just seems like a lot of engineering effort to make something. I don't know. It's very, very curious that they went the way they went.
It's a chassis that's been around for a while. I can't think what it is now, but it's basically a company had made this handheld ages ago, And then Atari have come along and gone, oh, can we make an Atari specific
We
one,
wanna
with all these
reskin it,
extra controls on it to suit our games. But yeah, it's I can't remember what it was that it was based on, but yeah, it's been around a while, so it's not like they've done anything new and novel. But I mean, I guess they're going to have more cost because they've gone, well, we want. It's not just a standard handheld where you've got 4 face buttons, an analog stick maybe, and a D-pad. They're like, well, we want to put the keypad in and the spinner and stuff. And I guess the manufacturers have just gone, well, that's going to cost you, X amount more. Okay, it's going to cost us pennies, but we're going to make you pay for your customization. So yeah.
Well, I translated the Dutch website.
Well done.
It's basically CEX is leaving the Netherlands, it says. To our wonderful customers, it's time to say goodbye in the Netherlands. After carefully considering closing our CEX stores earlier this year to protect our customers, is that why you closed stores? And employees, following a series of thefts and armed robberies, our e-commerce website continues to sell and buy as usual. So they're just shutting brick and mortar stores in the Netherlands.
Interesting.
There you go.
Oh, so I should have brought this up earlier. It's out of sequence because we were talking about.
You are somewhat
bandwidth
limited again, Scott. You're a bit Dalek-ish again.
Exterminate.
Yeah, that seems legit.
Exterminate the stuff. Yeah, I got no bandwidth phone, no bandwidth dial over here, so couldn't tell you. So I should have brought this up earlier, didn't. But out of Germany, a actual Intellivision Amico surfaced, and it's got the console. It does not look 3D printed. It looks injection molded. So it's got 2 of the controllers. And by all means, it was everybody, thinks this thing is legit. And I do too. I mean, yeah, you could do a lot of sanding and filling and very careful painting. If you did a lot of work to fake this, you could. But I don't think it is. I think it's legit. So, yeah. And it was oddly specific in that the seller didn't want it to go to any detractors. He wanted it to go to an enthusiast. Well, hell, I'd pretend to be an enthusiast to buy this thing, but it was already sold before I ever heard of it. Interesting. So one, presumably some then, because I remember I asked the question. I asked Nermix. I said, so have they made any? Did any actually get made? And he said, yeah, I was gone by then, but I do recall certain samples went out to various developers. So to some extent, it existed, at least this much. Hell, I'd like to have one just to have for the collection. I mean, can you imagine having one of the 6 Amicos that got made?
You can have the fake and the real one next to each other.
Right. Well, that means the molds were made. Yeah. And, even those controllers, so the boards, all those files are done. The actual files that you would send to a manufacturer to get the boards made, all that shit exists then. All of it. The digital shit exists, unless someone deliberately deleted it to manufacture every bit of that console. So, interesting. Very interesting. An Amico did actually exist.
Yeah, it's...
with 2 different controllers.
They could have easily have, built a dev kit for people that was just, it's just libraries on it for Windows, and an emulator. But the fact that this is far enough to have, some sort of engineering samples, or something, there's actually enough of a product there. It's not just, hey, we think we've got molds and, a plan, but we've never had the money or the capital to actually put anything into manufacturing. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting, that.
It says a lot about how much got done. Now, I don't know. I should probably just text Nermix and ask them if they did the industrial design in-house or if that was done, from some Chinese contractor. So it's entirely possible that the Chinese contractor made all of this, and they have all because they don't get rid of anything. They've got the source files and all, as does somebody at whoever inherited those computers from Amico. Maybe some of the current people sending out those spam emails. I don't know, but one thing I know is we're not going to be getting our Amicos as ordered.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. We'll do a few quick fire ones here. First one is from Gareth Hamer. Silent Hill PT gets a playable demake for the Game Boy. It's very basic. PT stands for playable teaser, so it's not a full game, and it does look very basic, as most demakes do. One then from
so while you're looking, I've
David
got a quick
Gyrick.
one.
From David Gyrick, the story of Phoenix Wright. It's a write-up on Time Extension about the Phoenix Wright franchise, how they didn't think it was going to do well. If I had my way, it wouldn't. Not a franchise I enjoyed on the DS. And the final Nintendo one, Rayman leaps back onto GBC. And this one is from, and I've lost that one because it scrolled, Gareth Hamer again. In a surprise announcement, Rayman is heading back to the GBC thanks to a new release of the 2000 handheld version of Ubisoft's classic title. So there you go.
And I had a quick one that I'd sent in, which was a preview teaser for a game called Drift in Rage, which is in development on the Sega Genesis. If you like your Outrun style, Top Racer, Top Gear style games, maybe keep an eye on this. It looks like it could be quite good.
I'm still waiting for Race Invaders.
Same here.
Southport. So, got one here. David Crane has stepped back into the world of making video games again. Now, look, David's always been nice to us, done some great interviews, but
court.
he did have some odd choices of, partnering with things, and none of those were successful, which is a shame, but it seems like he's got a new one out here for the Atari 2600 called Rescue from Poseidon's Gate. And, man, it looks good. It looks
when I looked at it, I thought it looked good. The screenshot at the top is just very evocative of an original era 2600 box art.
Okay, it absolutely looks like anything that Activision would have made. But it looks like super cutting edge for the Atari 2600. Like super cutting edge. So the other thing that's interesting here, that I there's nothing enough here to tell you what they're doing exactly, but I just want to read this one passage here. It says, Rescue from Poseidon's Gate uses development technology that was available at the time Pitfall was coded. Okay, so they're using development technology. So they're not using Atari Basic or any of the modern, or they're just using assembly. If Crane's doing this directly in assembly, okay, but I don't know exactly what that means. But either way, the result looks spectacular. Furthermore, the game utilizes Audacity's state-of-the-art dynamic QR code technology that allows you to access online help and submit your game scores, according to the developer. No more taking photos of your game screen to submit your high score. With your mobile device, simply submit your high scores directly to Audacity's global leaderboard. So, how the hell is this working? Is it linking to the cart and then extracting information to submit scores? Is it generating a QR code? I don't know. That's I don't know what they mean by that. But it goes on sale now, so get one ordered up and see what it does. But I mean, I hope Crane, gets. I mean, it's a 2600 cartridge. Success means it is a break-even thing. No one's going to make money, but it's good to see him produce a game that's going to get into the hands of people and not die on the vine of some dead-end console attempt.
Yeah. And it does look a very interesting game. Like that character sprite looks like, I don't know, 4 sprites all glued together, just moving around the screen. Does look interesting. Gareth Hamer says, watching YouTube on dial-up. I don't know what this is about. Hopefully there's a clue in the name. It's a YouTube video pushing dial-up modems further than we ever thought possible. So I'm guessing, are they multi-linking them to support streaming? The serial using multiple modems and multi-link PPP, yes. Which is something I did on one of my very early... I don't think it was an official Microsoft curriculum, but it was a networking course linking multiple different internet connections through PPP to make one big fat pipe. So that is a video about a big fat pipe. So thank you, Gareth Hamer, for that.
One I was looking at from David Gyrick, which was the story of Sin. Which he says seems like a lot of companies try to do the episodic thing and only made unfinished games. This is a bit of an article on PC Gamer digging into the history of Sin, which was episodic, did all come out, and apparently had a lot of nude Alexis and a lot of penises in it until Walmart said they would cancel their order, at which point they did remove it. So yeah, if you're a fan of classic PC FPSs, that is worth a read.
So got one here from David Gyrich, and it says, greed will not be tolerated. It's the end of Xbox. So what did they do, right? It seems they just started jacking up the price of everything. So the Xbox console is now... $800. They have raised the price. They make a central point here in the article that in 14 months, Game Pass has gone from $17 to $30. So that's almost doubled. Okay, I mean, I don't see a lot of value for that. And they've upped I guess they've done several rounds of upping the price on things, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, raising the price alone is one thing, but I don't know. What are they going to do? Are they going to release another gen of hardware? Or are they just going to come out with that Xbox app? It's so exciting. It works on anything. You don't need a console anymore. Okay, bye. So, I don't know. I'm not confident about where the future of games is headed in the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's headed to a remote play device, if any, and shitty shovelware and an online-only experience. So I don't think it's going to be for me.
So what do we think about recent Microsoft developments? I mean, they've laid off people. They've brought out the portable sort of Rogue X Ally. And like people are talking about, there's going to be no more Xbox consoles. It's all going to be handheld or move to PC. What do we think? Is Microsoft done? Are they going to PC? Is that it?
It's
the gatekeeper of what they want is they want to be the gatekeeper of an app. Let's call it the Xbox app. And they'll make you, I mean, you can play it. Literally, the processing power of a smart TV is getting to the point that you can install that app on a smart TV. It will then do remote play, so just nothing more than, like when you do remote play off your phone or any other device. And maybe...
It's doing input, output, and video. That's it.
Yeah. For a premium price, they will probably sell you some little dongle controller that, is just nothing but a remote stream device. So, because those can be made very cheaply, and they get cheaper every day. So I think they want that code to be centralized. I think they want it controlled. I think they want, literally a portal that you do remote play of games. No code is actually sent to your device, and they keep everything in house. I've said this before, things will disappear when they want it to disappear. It'll be the price they want down to the person, whatever the fuck they want to do, and the games won't be any good because there's no competition. So yeah, not good.
What do you think, Random? What are the rumblings?
So it's a weird one because the hardware's not doing great, as a bit of an understatement. So there's kind of like talk of, because everything they've been doing.
Is that just Microsoft or is that Sony as well?
No, that's just Microsoft
Okay. Right.
predominantly. So they, and then they've been also pushing that, all of their titles and a lot of third-party stuff that they're co-marketing and stuff comes out on the PC as well. It gets included in Game Pass deals. So there's no sort of exclusives. And then obviously they started moving on to selling the stuff on the PS5 as well. So you've got this whole kind of like Sega end of the Dreamcast, start publishing their games on the PS2 sort of situation. And then there's like bits where they're adapting the Xbox PC app to then pull in Steam and GOG and Epic stuff and unify it all. So there's been sort of rumors of, either this Xbox or the next Xbox, they're going to open it up, allow you to put Steam on there, and then just run PC games on there. They are saying they want to do a dedicated box still for the next one, but it will be a premium, even more of a premium box than what they're charging now for the current Xbox, which, it's quite an old box, and traditionally consoles went down in price over their lifespan, and the Xbox has gone up in price 3 or 4 times during its lifespan now. So they're talking about doing this premium thing, and so then people are, it does seem like, it seemed a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago, that they were doing a lot of work on ARM, and it looked like they were going to do an ARM Xbox, and they did all the translation layers. They did that ARM Surface laptop project. Well, the Snapdragon Windows shit, that never really went very far, but I don't know if that stopped them, but they'd basically nailed it so they could do all the backwards compatibility on this new ARM machine and then have a much more efficient machine for the next, the future hardware. But they've signed another deal with AMD, so then people are just thinking if it's this much more expensive, are they just doing a custom SoC that's just going to be a PC? It'll play, Xbox PC games. And then you can also the freedom to, put some whatever other stuff you want on there as well. And the reason that it's a premium there is they can't sell it as a loss because they're not making up so much on the software end. Because yes, some people will stay in the Xbox ecosystem, but not everyone will.
I don't see them.
That's kind of the way it's looking. World. I think the problem. A lot of it's recently is because they've been saying, Game Pass has been really successful and the Xbox division has been more successful than ever. And the figures do pan out right. But the problem is, whereas everyone else is trying to get 10 to 15% return on these sort of divisions like Sony and Sony Computer Entertainment, Xbox went, we should be getting 30% minimum return, on all of on this division. So they've had to slash people and they've had to put the price above Game Pass. But then the problem with that is it makes it look like they're all failing. And so then they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. Loads of people are cancelling Game Pass, but then they've calculated it so that the price increase overcomes the amount of people that they've pissed off and lost and all this sort of thing. So it's just strange decisions all over the place.
That often fails in the end. It's a dynamic. Well, we'll just make one more adjustment. Oh, they're gone. Yeah, it's not good.
Satya Nadella has, not helped things by saying, I do 75% of my workday. I do it all through Copilot now and stuff like that. And that's where we want to push stuff. And it's like, dude, you know where you fucking anyone. I bet there's loads of people in Microsoft that don't want to run Windows 11 and are doing
Yeah.
other shit because
There's people outside Microsoft who certainly don't. I mean, so I've got a VM on my MacBook Air. I have 2 VMs, and it's the newer MacBook, so it's on their silicon. So you can only run ARM versions of Linux or ARM versions of Windows, and the ARM version of Windows 11 runs way better than any other Windows 11 I've ever tried. Like my work PC, I'm digging my heels in. I'm not going to 11. I fucking hate it. I'm sticking with 10. Oh, it's all compromised. I don't give a fuck. They're not supported anymore. I don't do stupid shit on my work computer. I'm sticking with 10. Windows 11 can go fuck itself. But the ARM version of it on the MacBook runs pretty well, to be fair. But like Copilot, fuck. Like one Monday morning, we had just a line of staff. I got into the office on Monday morning, and there's a line of staff waiting. What's this Copilot? I'm like, wait, what? I'm trying to sign into my email, and Copilot's in the way. I can't get past Copilot. I'm like, okay, I guess we need to disable Copilot on the domain then. So, Microsoft just shoving things at people without any notice, just like everyone's trying to sign into the work emails, and Copilot saying, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? We can make your life better. Try this. Have you seen that?
It's like Clippy, but somehow far worse. I dread that because we have, everything we do is Linux, except we have admin PCs for doing unfortunately, Microsoft Teams is what we use it for.
Mm.
So my Windows world consists of logging in, it boots up, Teams launches, and that's the interaction I have with Windows, 100%. Mm. And every now and then I'll just be doing something, go, let me just grab this document or this file and save it, which I don't use my work computer for anything like that generally, but it's so maybe once every 2 years or so, I'm like, I'm going to grab this while I see it. And then you literally realize you can't even tell where you're saving it to. Mm. You literally can't even see the actual, C drive. And of course they push everything to the OneDrive. I can only imagine, it'll probably be, maybe it's tonight, maybe it's in a year, that we'll do some sort of upgrade, and next thing you know, Copilot, I see you're trying to use Microsoft Teams. Would you like to format an SD card instead? No, I didn't ask. Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
It's got to the stage now. Every time you open a Word document on Windows 11, it's like, do you want to sync this to OneDrive? And it puts a banner across the top of your Word ribbon. Said, you can save this in OneDrive and edit it there. We'll save it automatically every 5 seconds for you. I literally do not want you to do that, and I can't think of anything worse. Just leave me alone. Fuck off.
I said years ago, and I stand by this. The difference between, Word and other OSs, predominantly Linux, is you are there for Windows. Windows is not there for you. And it will decide when updates are done. It will tell you how things are going to be done. It will constantly harass you into compliance, And Linux is there for you. You're not there for it. And that's the best way I can sum it up.
Was it you who said this, or was it might have been a guy at work who said, running Windows now is you used to buy a Windows license and that was it. You used to buy an Office license, that was it. Now, if you're running Microsoft products, you're leasing somebody else's computer. You are just paying for the privilege of using someone else's computer.
And they're taking over. They're even taking over your local hardware to this extent that you don't know and you don't trust what your own hardware is doing,
mm-hmm.
and you don't know what kind of access externals have to it. So fuck all that. Not doing it.
Yeah.
Got one here. It's from the Mr. Lanky. And it's Super Mario Brothers, The Lost Levels Minus World has been found after 40 years. So apparently a speedrunner was doing a run-through, saved it, quit it, came back in, reloaded it, and it glitched into a different area with a warp pipe, and he got into a new glitched level that it's B-D land instead of -0 land, I guess. So, I don't know if I could pull off the minus world. Yeah, I mean, anybody can do that. I don't know if I'll be able to get this done or not, but it's so cool. These glitched worlds are really, some of them are just junk and awful. Some of them playable and interesting that, man, maybe that could have been a level. So, yeah, there is imagine what they'll find in the future.
Yeah. So one here from a dude called Mike James. It's called F Your Video Game Patents. And it's a Kickstarter. It's still got 27 days to go, and it needs your help, guys. Come on. They're looking for, I guess it's in dollars and converted for me, £58,487. They've got £15 so far. So this is a guy who says, I will make 10 to 1,000 video games using patented video game patents under 10 court every day. So, he says, in the project story, video games are supposed to be about creativity, experimentation, and fun. But right now, the industry is being fenced in by patents on basic gameplay mechanics. That means simple ideas, things that should belong to everyone, are locked away behind legal walls. Developers risk lawsuits, not for stealing art or code, but for just using fundamental mechanics that players have loved for decades, and I'm sick of it. So, he is highlighting things like Nemesis AI systems, in brackets Warner Brothers, dialogue wheels, in brackets BioWare/EA, loading screen minigames, in brackets Namco, throwing an object to summon a creature, in brackets Nintendo/Pokemon. So he's going to make 10 to 1,000 games that uses all these patents under 10 court every day. He's going to run out of money pretty damn quick.
Yeah. I will attend court until I run out of money, and we're done.
Oh, I'm out.
Nintendo's lawyers just showed up. We're done. I do want to give credit here to Mike Garcia. He made an interesting comment. Subscription fatigue is a real thing. And, I get subscription fatigue for a lot of people. And, especially the obvious case we were talking about, like BMW saying, oh, you want your heated seats to work that you paid for? Give us some money every month. Fuck off in the worst way possible. But, the subscription fatigue, especially when you're depriving people of ownership and you're giving them subscriptions, I will pass on your subscription. I want ownership. If you're not interested in making a product, I'm not interested in purchasing. And then maybe you'll find enough people that are, but it won't be me. So got another one here from Peter Gibbs, David Lanke, myself, and perhaps a few others. Always duplicate emails, never a problem, because many are not. So 8-Bit Mods has released a new VMU. We talked about this a while back. Now they've got some good picks up and all that. And it's the Sega Dreamcast VMU, except now with a color screen and, obviously I think more gameplay capability, which the VMU is the video memory unit. It was the memory card for the Dreamcast, and it basically looks like a little mini Game Boy. And there were some games for it. I think it was greatly underutilized. And then the console died, and we never got to see anything else. But love the idea of this. I actually thought the VMU games were super clever. One of the first cases, I saw an interview with one of the people at Sega, and they were presenting their use case for it, and I thought it was brilliant. They said, okay, let's say you're playing a football game with your friends, right? And you can take out the VMU, you can select your plays, you can, move things around, and they can't see what you're doing because it's off screen. You plug it back in, it loads your plays, and you go out and execute them. I thought that's fucking brilliant. And then they didn't do it. So there's that.
So I want a little interlude here. And Scott, you were talking to the guy a lot in Blackpool. So this is Stu, who shared the Airbnb with us and made the Dam Busters game. So you were talking about things that he'd never really considered in the game, like you own an Ice Cold Beer, original hardware, and he was doing a recreation, Dam Busters, as we know, but he was looking for, super accuracy, like the width of the bar that the ball sits on, the diameter of the ball, how far the bar sits off the the playfield. How much that stuff matters. It all adds up to the friction, the momentum. The ease or not of the game.
Yeah.
And you're going to measure and send them to him, and it's just how, like, when you're making like a hardware based game like a pinball or an Ice Cold Beer, how much that stuff kind of matters, because he just kind of made it all up.
Well, I mean, as you can tell, so I told him, I said, go in whenever you are ready for the specs, go in Discord and let me know. He hasn't hit me up yet, but whenever he does, I can do it. It's just a matter of taking the Yale calipers and measuring. So doing that stuff deliberately, sometimes it's a deliberate effort, right? But also like think of pinball, right? Game designers know what works. So they look at shots and they look at the geometry of it, and they're doing very deliberate things. Some of those things work exceptionally well. Some of them failed. Not everybody knows what the hell they're doing. I hate to say it, but some of those games were not so good. The best example that can come to mind for me is the Dungeons & Dragons. One of the most artistically beautiful games ever. It's got a beautiful back box topper with a dragon hologram. I mean, just loaded with beautiful artwork. And many of the shots and angles just don't work. The ball doesn't roll that way. But by the time all that money was invested, they're like, we're finishing and shipping it. Whether it's, most people, they end up just playing an 18-inch game in front of the flippers, so it doesn't matter to them. But, yeah. So anyway, sometimes it is a very deliberate process, and usually successful, usually not. I mean, sometimes not. But, like in the case of Ice Cold Beer, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't at Tato. I've never read the story of the design cycle. It may have been as simple as, okay, so we need rod that fits inside of another rod. We're going to run it up and down. And they got what they got. They got a certain feel, certain friction. And my guess would be they probably made the mechanism, and they probably did everything in one shot. And then maybe they did fine tuning for like the motor speed. The way it works is there's a belt that runs around a motor and a pulley. So when you're moving the joystick, you're either turning the motor to run forward or reverse, so that end of the bar goes up or down, right? There's no translation or physics or any, acceleration in software. It's just you're closing that switch, that motor's running. It's that simple. So the ball, as the holes get tighter as you go up, obviously if you leave less space between those holes, the game's going to be, much harder to play. That's how it works. It starts off super easy at the bottom where you got, that much space between the holes, and it gets real hard up top when it's that much space, right? So how fast the ball rolls across the bar, all that, But I don't think they have like a exact geometric formula. It's pretty nuanced, but they may have said, all right, let's make the holes a little further apart. And you could tune this like Stu did. So if he wanted to reproduce the exact relationship and feel, he certainly could. Like, if he knew the hole diameter, the ball diameter, the spacing, like if he made a pattern of the holes in Ice Cold Beer, you could reproduce that whole relationship. And you could play with it. You could go to a ball that's a few thousandths of an inch bigger. You could go to a ball that's a few thousandths of an inch smaller. And you could see how that impacts the gameplay. Does it get harder, easier? Something the size of a pinball is going to roll very differently than something the size of a BB, So you want something with enough mass that it can be arrested without carrying. But something, if it has too little mass, it's going to be very hard to get rolling, and it's just going to go all at once. So you could try different size balls. I mean, you could experiment with it as much as they did, But I don't think the formula they hit on obviously works. But I don't think it was any deliberate design outcome to every bit of the geometry. But yeah, I mean, I can measure what I've got, and then he can compare that to his. But his, I'm sure, like I didn't get a chance to play his because he didn't have it there. But I'm sure it's perfectly playable, and it may be perceptibly different, maybe not, from the original Ice Cold Beer. Don't know.
Yeah, it's a really interesting conversation. The whole physical aspects of it. You can be a code genius and work out all the Arduino stuff and the code behind it and lighting up this. You go for this hole, you go for that hole, and it all comes down to diameter of a ball and how far that sits off the playfield kind of thing.
Well, I mean, that's a component of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you did, I mean, obviously, if you did the bar, you did something the size of a BB that just fell around the backside of the bar, you're an idiot, all right? But let's say that you
that was the first version.
well, so they've done different. The game I'm thinking of is Terminator 3, the pinball, the god awful one, and they used a ceramic pinball because it's exceptionally light and it accelerates instantly, and it doesn't have a lot of mass when it hits, right? So they integrated a ceramic pinball into, a portion of the game. So, yeah, maybe. But I don't think. I mean, if you're close, if it's about that size ball, about that size rod, it's gonna feel. If it feels good and plays good, then it feels good and plays good, right? There's no one ratio of these things that's going to be better than others.
So that ceramic one then, that wasn't the main ball. That was like a mini game or something, was it?
Yeah, the back glass ball. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But
interesting concept. I've never thought about changing the metal
with,
ball for a ceramic one on the playfield. Would it work on there or not?
Be unplayable. Yeah. You wouldn't have enough impact, I think, to actuate some of the functions, and then the ball would just, it would just lightning quick, Yeah. But then it would be very slow to accelerate and roll on its own. So it would come off the flippers like crazy, but then it would roll down, really sloppily. So I don't think you'd enjoy the experience. I think we got time for about one more each, I think. I am going to hit one real quick here about the story of Xcopy. Now, Xcopy was an Amiga disk copying software. Ended up versions of it. The one that I really liked on PC was VGA Copy. And this was back when, copying diskettes had gotten more complex than just copying diskettes. And, with some of the protections they had and all. And Xcopy was just a monster that got around everything and just worked, But yeah, there is a fairly long article with a lot of good screenshots. And I look forward to reading this because Xcopy was, as well as VGA copies, were absolute favorites of mine.
So I just want to hit a couple. One is from Glenn Minette, a new pinball, which is Lost in Space, the pinball adventure coming soon. To celebrate the 60th anniversary of the iconic sci-fi TV series. Does it say the company that's done it? Vector Pinball, yes, the Australian company, making a Lost in Space pinball. It looks pretty nice, actually. It's almost like the artwork and everything, the theme of it can almost be a Flintstones. It's like that kind of cartoonish kind of thing. Now, the original Lost in Space series, I loved the 60s one. I did watch the remake, but I only watched like season 1. I think there may be 2 or 3 deep, maybe even more now. And I thought when season 2 comes out, I'm going to watch that because I really liked it. It's just, and for whatever reason, never gone back to it. But I did like the remake. Interesting concept, and of course, they got Robbie the Robot. Interesting concept for a pinball as well. The other one I wanted to hit was from Charlie, which is Amazon/MGM removes all guns from James Bond digital posters on Prime. Now,
it's off.
Amazon have bought the rights to the James Bond franchise. They are going to be responsible for the next James Bond film. Now then, they've removed all the guns from like the cover artwork and stuff from James Bond. Don't do that. You don't need to. Maybe for some art concepts they've done it. My fear is they are toning down James Bond. He is not going to be the gun-toting, sexist, misogynist character that James Bond is. I'm really worried about, and this is first world problems. When I say I'm really worried about it, it doesn't keep me up nights, but I love the James Bond franchise, so why would I not?
Another franchise.
Yeah, why would I not be concerned about it?
Yeah.
I want them to do the right thing. I don't want a woman. I don't want a black character. I want a white male. He may be English, he may be Scottish, whatever. James Bond, as a character, is a white Scottish naval commander. Now, you can have a black woman playing James Bond. It's a spy film, it's not James Bond. It might be a good spy film. I might watch it. It might be good. It's not James Bond. Don't fuck it with it, please. You know, how long has this franchise been going on? You know, 60, was it 61, the first one, Dr. No?
Well, I mean,
I forget
that's
now.
one thing. That is one thing, but even more insidious is what they do. Okay, so that show that was a major hit in
Doctor Who.
It is a rough word. No, Adolescence, right?
Oh, yeah.
They turned it into the psychopathic
Never
little
watched
white
it.
kid. Yeah, well, they race swapped it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And race swapping gets exceptionally fucking tedious because everything becomes a game, you know, of what are you doing to this? Why is every franchise got to be altered like that? And it's considered unassailable, you know. It ruins the original property because it's no longer a believable character, you know. It's no longer the character that you related to. It's it's a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a good thing. There's no reason it couldn't be, but just why steal the name? Just create your own new original property. If it's good, it lives on its own merit. How about that one?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Make a spy film. Might not be James Bond. What was so the reason I mentioned Doctor Who, I read a story today. Disney have dropped Doctor Who. Like, I don't know if, did they own it? Did they just broadcast it in America? I don't know, but they've dropped it because Doctor Who is just, it's ridiculous now. But
that is the problem. When you do this, you know, cultural appropriation and re-swapping of things, you end up with what you get with Doctor Who, which is a ruined series that nobody watches and it goes off the air and you killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
Yeah. Leave it alone. Random. Hit a couple and then we out.
So, last one from me. One I sent in. We talked about the Atari 1200 and the C64 Mini got mentioned. There is a new C64 Mini coming along. This is the Black Edition, which is going to be $120 and includes not classic games, but a bunch of like modern homebrew stuff that's usually sold on like itch.io and places like that. Supposedly totaling over £100 worth of stuff. But yeah, obviously you get get it all built into the console. But it kind of looks well. I mean, obviously it's not the C64 color, but it kind of looks kind of cool in a stealth black in a bit of a Spectrum sort of fashion. No idea whether these modern games are worth the money or not, but yeah, if you want to get another edition of the C64 Mini, complete with a bunch of games that you probably definitely won't have played 100 times over, that is an option.
Yeah, I mean, again, all those games are available, you know. I already have two of the minis. I don't feel the need to buy another one just because it's a different color or whatever. But it's a good, I mean, if you don't already own one, the great thing too is if you don't already own a C64 Mini, then you can get one of these and then you can do the same software upgrades you do to the other one, load whatever the hell you want, you know, or you can, and then obviously you can port these games over onto the new software load. It's very adaptable to loading good new software images that radically upgrade its potential. So, in fact, even on their own forum, they allow open discussion of alternate firmwares, and that's really where it's at. That's how their product really shines. And they know it, and they're not stupid, which I greatly admire.
Yeah. Another thing we greatly admire on this show is the inimitable George Lutz. And so we should finish on a Dirty George email. He says, old
I'd love
games...
to finish on a Dirty George.
Imagine finishing on a Dirty George. Have you watched the new Brassic, Random?
No.
Oh, okay. No spoilers. Old games make a cum. Yes, it's spelt the traditional way. Old games make a comeback. And it's an article, and I read the article, and it's about a one-up arcade version of NBA Jam. And I I'm not sure how you get from that to sexy, but anyway, George manages it. He says, I'm looking at these mini arcade cabs like, what is this? The fun size aisle for people who say I game and then need a step stool. What the fuck happened? It got me thinking, can you debate the good, the bad, and the adorably undersized? On one hand, these bite-sized machines are a cheap-ish, spouse-approved gateway into the hobby. They fit in apartments where the only riser is a stack of Amazon boxes, and they definitely bring new blood into retro. On the other hand, wouldn't you rather see more authentic, one-to-one scale relaunches that don't make you feel like you're playing at the kids' table? That doesn't get me excited. Let's say you go to a holiday party and the dude owns 6 of these retro arcade one-ups. What do you do? Confession. I've had more than a few arcade encounters that sent me stepping away to release myself. The right cabinet can do that. Make a gentleman feel 17 again without the acne or curfew. Thanks for all the hours you fed my ears. Looking forward to hearing you dunk on or defend the short kings of the arcade world. Stay sexy. He signs it Cubert. We know it's George. So he's gone from a one arcade cab and discussing the merits and otherwise of to go into the toilet to relieve himself after seeing an arcade game. I don't know how his mind works. What have we become?
He took arcade one up a little too literally. But funny, there's this video this guy did on YouTube where he's showing off his arcade. Now, I'm not bagging on the guy. I mean, the guy's sincere about it. And he shows off the arcade, right? And it's like a room, maybe like a small bedroom, like, say, 10 by 12 foot, right? And he has a complete collection of arcade one-up in there. And that's, so he went to the store and he bought one of each. Mm-hmm. And he assembled them. And he built his own little arcade. Mm-hmm. And, it's easy to go, those aren't real machines, and what a fucking cheesy, jerky thing. I kind of look at it like, all right, man, I could see how, because before I knew how to go buy arcade machines, I had no fucking clue. Mm-hmm. Like, I had never once seen an arcade for sale. The closest I ever came is, like, me and some friends were in our arcade in the 80s, and we asked the change attendant, who may as well be, JFC himself with a change belt. And the change attendant, we asked him, like, hey, man, like, how much do these games cost? And he goes, I think Pac-Man was like $800 or so, and a lot of these are like $1,000 or $800 or $1,200. And it was such an impossible number when you're like 11-year-old. It may as well have been $1 million, And but you had never seen one for sale on the side of the road. You had never walked into a store. You didn't know how to buy one. I never, when eBay first launched in the late 90s, about the time I got into collecting, I had still never seen an arcade game on eBay. So I had not the slightest clue how you would go about owning one of these. And I certainly had the drive and the interest. So I get how, somebody might literally be completely, because I get this all the time. Like, we go to expos, and like at MagFest and a couple other shows, I've done a panel discussion where I talk about how to get into collecting. And legit, the majority of the people, it's one of those things, once you've done it, you there's no mystery. You know exactly where to go. Like, I always tell people, once you get into arcade collecting, it's hard to get through a day without another game in front of you, like some friend or some source, like, oh, hey, check this out. And so I can't go a full day, I think, without seeing an arcade game for sale. But certainly there's a point in my life that I had never seen one for sale. So I absolutely, totally get how this fellow had an interest in arcades, walked into the Walmart and said, this is achievable. I can buy these, go home, put them together. They're going to work. And I've got my own little mini arcade. And, so what? He didn't go out and buy all originals, and he didn't restore them.
And maybe one of the key phrases in this, George's email is spouse approved.
Yeah, I mean, it's something about it. It's not like when you bring home, like, a truck with, like, a Pac-Man, and you have to use a hand cart and haul it into the house, and it's big, it's obviously, gonna garner attention, good or negative, from anybody that has their name on the deed of the house. So, um,
Or aspires to such.
yeah, it is what it is. But so okay, let's say you go to Walmart and you come home with a box that you carry in under your arm. You're like, oh, I bought a video game machine, and you put it together. And next thing you know, you got a circle of them. She still sees those as temporary and removable.
Mm-hmm.
She still sees like, oh, those could
They're
just be
from
boxed back
Costco.
up. Now that came from Walmart. Like those could just be set in the back room if they were in the way. So she doesn't see it as this permanent thing that's going to alter her world. So I totally get how a dude could end up with a collection of those. I bought one. I got a hell of a deal on it, and it's they're neat. I mean, I get why they're there, and they serve a purpose, and they lasted a hell of a lot. I thought they'd be a one season, one hit wonder, and now they are contracting. Like I've read a couple of just random posts where people are saying, "Oh, this is the arcade one-up aisle now," and it's literally back to where it was, where it's like 4 machines on a little stack. And at one point, they dominated a whole aisle. So I think it's collapsing back a bit on itself. But they've had a good run, and they've made a hell of a lot more games than I thought they'd make. And there's an interest, and and it fulfills a need. So, yeah, okay, I get it. Not for me, really, but I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting market. There was obviously a gap in the market. They filled it, and maybe it's now full. Who knows? Maybe the next one they do is a killer app, and they sell 10 million of them. Who knows? Okay. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Some people joined us live and were chatting away. Some people are lazy and are listening to this later. Some people maybe missed the hour difference between the UK and the US. We almost did, but not quite, because Random was right on the ball and steered us in the right direction. So, until next time, it's November next time. Wow. I don't know where the year's going. It's like it was summer 2 days ago. I don't get it.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was summer. Now, Halloween's today. I got to go to work.
Christmas
Can't do it.
train's out. Yeah.
And, and it'll be Christmas season, and then, boom, 2026. So,
Gosh darn.
gosh darn indeed.
All right. Thank you for listening, everybody, and we will catch you again next month for more live news and shenanigans. And, peace out, bitches. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
Good night.
everybody.